How's it going, everybody? Welcome to our off-season live stream. Made it about 2 seconds before the first misspeak there, but welcome to the channel. Sorry about the delayed start here. I had a little bit of technical difficulties as I tried to remember how to stream. I think this is the first live stream since probably last summer, so very much looking forward to this here. We have the first off-season of the series here as we look to rebuild the Detroit Lions. I love off-seasons, and I am super excited to get this one started. There's so much that we have to do with this team in order to turn it around, and it starts right here today. Welcome. We got one viewer. Good to see you here. We have not started anything just yet, so you haven't missed anything. It was just me trying to get the stream up and running, so yeah, welcome. So 1-16 this season. We had the worst ranked offense and one of the worst ranked defenses in league history here, so we have a lot to do to try and turn this team into a contender. There's a lot of questions on both sides of the ball. What are we going to do with Jared Goff on offense? How do we bring in more weapons for whoever is under center next season? And what do we do to try and fix this defense, which needs an influx of talent at all three levels after a very disappointing season? At least we got our special teams unit figured out. Oh hey, up to 2 viewers. Nice to see you. Hi Burgos. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to our live stream here. We are just about to head into the off season, and I'm super excited for this. The playoffs, I suppose, have come down to the Arizona Cardinals and the Baltimore Ravens here. The Cardinals have rode backup quarterback Chris Streveler all the way to the Super Bowl, but they'll welcome back Kyler Murray for a matchup against Lamar Jackson here in a matchup of number 3 seeds from the AFC and the NFC. So we'll take a look at the results of that here very soon, and we're going to get our stream underway here, or our off season I should say. So without further ado, let's see who wins the Super Bowl. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. I'm trying to think of when the last one was. Wow, looks like it was a close one. 17-14 as the Baltimore Ravens win Super Bowl 56. Let's take a look at this recap screen here. That's kind of cool. The 3rd Super Bowl championship in Baltimore history. Looks like Odafe Oweh wins the Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson wins yearly MVP, I guess. Huh. And a whole bunch of other awards. This is a cool screen. This is my first off-season on Madden 22 as well, so we're going to be figuring things out as we go along here. I've tried to avoid watching other off-seasons just so I'm coming in with a fresh perspective. So that's super exciting. Congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's take a look at the game stats here real quick. The schedule. Nope, that's not the one we want. That is one thing I've noticed about playing on old gen, is that the menus take a while to load, which is just what we're going to have to deal with here. Alright, playoff schedule, Super Bowl 17-14. Yeah, nice close game here. This is one of the ones that I wish we could have been able to watch. Wow, despite 432 yards of total offense, Ravens only score 17 points here. But it looks like their defense did a whole bunch of heavy lifting. Only 10 rushing yards for the Cardinals and 181 passing yards. Maybe the game was not as close as these scores suggested here. Although there are a couple turnovers that kept the Cardinals in it. How is my volume, by the way? I've got a different microphone setup for this live stream compared to other ones. Hopefully the audio is clearer, but if I need to adjust things on my end, I can certainly do that. Blake Bortles threw a pass in the Super Bowl. He threw a couple of them. He completed 2 passes for 12 yards. Good for him. And Bortles is now a Super Bowl winning quarterback, I guess. Kyler Murray looked pretty rusty coming back from his dislocated hip injury. 18 of 28 for 181 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Was sacked 3 times. Lamar Jackson throws a couple of picks, but also finds the end zone as part of a 279-yard day. And James Conner had a pair of rushing touchdowns. Doesn't look right. Some of these numbers look off. Need 15 yards here. For a... Just trying to figure out how the Cardinals, only had a pair of... they only had 10 rushing yards. And here James Conner had 15, and there's nobody in the... Oh, maybe someone had negative rushing yards. Would that be all the way down at the bottom here? Sure enough. -7 rushing yards for Kyler Murray. That will do it. Alright. We figured out the mystery. Thank you, Burgos, for your feedback here. Let me know if anything needs to change over the course of the stream, and I can happily do that. Alrighty. But enough about the rest of the league. Let's take a look at the Detroit Lions here. We are trying to turn this team around, and it'll be a while before we are ready to contend for a Super Bowl. But I'm super excited for this offseason, as I've said a couple of times already. And I guess it is staffing week here. We already kind of filled out our staff, but maybe there's been some other vacancies filled around the NFL. Or here's just the fired people. Dolphins. I want to check their record too, because they cleaned house. Okay. And we fired Dean Fuller after this season, and we hired Craig Taylor. A couple of people getting fired as well. Martin Kelly. Brian Flores is now the head coach of the Giants. Good for him. Joe Judge heads to the Dolphins, as it looks like the Giants and the Dolphins just swapped coaches. And Patrick Bailey is fired by the Ravens after winning a Super Bowl. Madden 22, everybody. Alrighty. Let's move on to the Resign Phase, because I'm not seeing too much else. Oh, we maybe should take a look at the awards here real quick. Just go through these one more time, because I went through it before the offseason actually hit here, and I guess some of them have changed, because the last one I saw had Derrick Henry. Oops. The last one I saw had Derrick Henry winning MVP. Let's do our yearly awards. Okay, maybe that MVP I saw earlier was from the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry wins MVP. Urban Meyer wins Coach of the Year. I'll just breeze through these real quick. Oh yeah, I don't think they've changed at all. So it looks like the Dolphins went 3-14. Yeah, that'll get you fired. Okay, none of these have changed. You can see these in the off-season preview video I just put up on Thursday night. So I'm not going to go back into the awards again. Let's get to the meat of the off-season here. Staff week, we got no staffing moves to make. This is what our staff looks like, and we've got a whole bunch of staff points to spend as well. We got a very new offensive coordinator, but our major hire so far was Craig Taylor on the defensive side of things, who is a defensive line specialist by the looks of it. So that's kind of cool. I'm wondering if we don't want to look into some head coaching stuff. Like trying to get another focus player in our weekly strategy, or if it'd be better to try and look at the draft pick discounts here for this offseason, because I anticipate that we will be doing a lot of work in this offseason in terms of moving and wheeling and dealing in the draft. There's a lot of players that I like. So, yeah. Not sure, so we're just going to sit on those staff points for now until it becomes a little clearer as to where we're going to need to spend those. Alrighty. So with that out of the way, let's advance the week on to the re-sign phase. We'll get another shot at re-signing some of our free agents here, or free agents to be. This is an opportunity for us to start over at a lot of different positions, but there are some players that I thought stuck out for us this past season that I have interest in bringing back. And we'll also get to take a look at mock draft number 3, so we'll take that in a minute. But first, let's take a look at the 2021 retirements. Quez Campbell retires, Andy Lee, Chad Henn, Aaron Rodgers retires. So there's someone we're not going to have to worry about going forward. 17 years in the league, he retires after a NFC Championship loss. Kevin McCourty, Stephen Gostowski, Adrian Peterson retired. We had signed him after DeAndre Swift went down with a season-ending injury, so he looks to be the one retirement from our team. Trent Williams, Jason McCourty, Emmanuel Sanders retires. Jason Peters. Richard Sherman also retired. Just 11 years. Josh Norman retired as well. Gerald McCoy, Big Ben, Jimmy Graham, Joe Webb, Larry Fitzgerald calls it a career. 18 years in the league. Frank Gore also retires. Alfred Morris. A lot of retirements here. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but a lot of big names heading off into the sunset as well. And Cameron Wake, after 12 years in the league, also decides to call it a career. So that's the retirements. We'll go through the re-signings here of our players, and then we'll take a look at mock draft number 3. So there's a chunk of players that we get to negotiate with here. We already re-signed a couple of them, and I'm not sure how many of these I actually want to bring back. There's a whole bunch of lower-rated wide receivers like Isaiah Hodgins and Alex Wesley that didn't really stand out and are asking for a lot of money. Hodgins wants over $3 million a year to basically be a number 5 wide receiver, so I'm going to let him test free agency here. We'll just go through these one at a time. Same thing with Alex Wesley. I think we can do a lot better for the kind of money that he's asking. Charles Harris, I have some interest in bringing him back. He didn't play a whole lot of downs for us, but he is one of the better reserve players on our team at 72 overall. He's number 35 ranked right outside linebacker in the league. He's a decent pass rusher. But I do think at 27 years old we might be able to get a bit younger at the depth position. And we've got players like Julian Okwara who are in the rotation for more snaps. So I'm actually going to let Harris test free agency. Again, he wants almost $4.5 million a year, and that's just money that I don't want to spend on a backup player. Alex Anzaloni is one of the bigger question marks. I felt like he played pretty good down the stretch, but middle linebacker is also a major position of a major weakness for us. He also dealt some time with injuries. Or he missed some time with injuries. 27 years old. I don't know. He's a good depth player. He's a good sub linebacker. He's got decent speed, decent zone coverage. I think I might lowball him a little bit and see what he thinks. 6.9 million over 2 years. Nice. Alright, so he will test free agency. We might pick him up there. We'll see what kind of interest he draws. But middle linebacker is already a position I was thinking we might want to upgrade at anyway. So a little disappointing that he didn't decide to stick around and play for us, but I can't blame him trying to cash in elsewhere. Khalif Raymond, he's 28 years old, and he really struggled when I was playing with him. He did good in the sim, but he wasn't a very good contested catch wide receiver, and he had a couple of really key drops at clutch points throughout the season. He's 69 overall. It must be... Oh yeah, no, he regressed a bit. Yeah, that's not going to do it. I don't see him contributing heavily to the team going forward, and I think we can do better at wide receiver. Danny Trevathan is now 32 years old. Looks like he'll sign for fairly cheap. He's 73 overall. One of our better run stoppers. But again, I think this is a case that we can get younger at this position. So I'm not going to pursue Danny Trevathan. Sean Dean Hamilton, on the other hand, is actually somebody that I'd like to bring back. I thought he did miss time with an injury. Oh, sorry, I'm missing the chat here. I tried potentially ending all the Major League Baseball. My goodness. I tried to potentially ending all the linebackers. Anzaloni could also move to right outside linebacker or left outside linebacker as well. That's a good point. We do run a 3-4 scheme, so outside linebacker, he probably doesn't have the pass rushing skills to get after the quarterback on a consistent basis. He certainly has the build for it. What's his 65 power moves, 57 finesse moves, 71 block shedding. I don't know if he'd be super great as a pass rushing linebacker. Oh, try to pick up Anzaloni. Yeah, agree with you on that. Sean Dean Hamilton, on the other hand, is someone I'd like to bring back. He is only 69 overall, but he's 26 years old. Morale is impacting him a little bit here, and I think he was one of our better run-stopping middle linebackers last season. I could see him getting a lot of play time on first down or in short yardage situations, and I want to see what it would take to bring him back. 2 years, 624. Let's see if he'll accept this. Oh, so he's going to test as well. That is a little bit of a surprise, but again, I don't know how many suitors he will have in free agency, so we might be able to woo him back with a little bit of a bigger bonus there. Nick Williams is 32 years old. I don't think he saw the field for us hardly at all. Jamarco Jones actually did a pretty good job as a backup, like a swing tackle for us. Let's see if he'd be interested. He's 26 years old, so he's probably looking for a little bit more money. Let's try a little bit of a longer contract, a little bit less than what he's asking for, and see if he'll buy. He's only 64 overall, so it doesn't really hurt if he turns us down. But he does have familiarity with the team and has decided to go elsewhere in free agency. So a lot of swings and misses here early on. That's okay. Dean Marlowe actually played pretty well for us this past season, but he is 30 years old, and I think we can get younger at the safety position here. He's not a very good cover safety. I don't see anything here that is really making me want to bring him back, so we're going to let him walk as well. A lot of turnover here early on. Daryl Hodge, 72 overall, wants $13 million over 3 years. Morale is hurting right now, but I don't know. He's 27 years old, so he'll start regressing next year, and he didn't really wow me this season either. Doesn't have good separation. His release isn't there. He's got decent hands, but I want to upgrade this wide receiver room, and that means we need to save some money here before we head into free agency. Balaj wants $3 million over 2 years. I'm going to withdraw that offer as well. How many of these people are we actually going to re-sign? Trinity Benson, 25 years old. He's our main kick returner this season. 25 years old out of East Central University. The hands aren't there. I like the route running. I like the jumping. He's got good speed, but he's not a great kick returner either. So let's let him test. I think we can do better. I think we can do better in free agency. Jason Kabinda was our fullback. I think he played well enough to earn another contract for us this year. He is a blocking fullback. which is kind of what I'm looking for. And he's actually apparently rated middle of the pack in terms of the league. Let's bring him back. He's not asking for too much here. Just over $1.25 million per year. Let's make the offer and see if he will accept. Sweet. All right, we have re-signed somebody. Maybe try to pick up. Yep. Okay. So I just want to make sure I'm staying here with the chat. I'm not getting a ping when somebody chats, so I will just need to keep an eye on this screen as well. Tom Kennedy, 66 overall. We're just in the re-sign phase. If you are just joining us here, we've been turned down by a lot of players, which isn't the end of the world. Only 87 speed. Hands are decent. Route running is not. And at 26 years old, I think he's more or less hit his peak. So we're going to let Tom Kennedy walk as well. Charlie Tameapau. He's our tight end 3 this season. He wants a lot of money to ride the bench at 62 overall. So, oh, he's already someone we said no to. Evan Brown is our backup center. 60 overall. I think we can do better in free agency as well, but are we willing to spend that kind of money? Let's lowball him and see if he'll take this offer. Alright, so Evan Brown's heading out to free agency, so we might end up spending a little bit more going forward. Tim Boyle is not someone I have interest in bringing back either. He's got a long release that made me struggle when I did throw with him in practice. So that and the fact that he's 58 overall, and we're probably looking elsewhere at quarterback, means that this is a kind of disappointing re-sign phase for us. I think we only successfully re-signed our fullback Jason Kabinda. So we'll be seeing plenty of new faces at the beginning of next season as we look to turn this Lions team around. We're up to 2 viewers. That is awesome. I should get some music for the next stream. I wonder how I can make that work. I've never actually streamed music before, so that's something I'll have to look into so it's not just me talking the whole time. Alrighty, we also have the 3rd mock draft to take a look at, and this is exciting as we have a couple of first-round picks thanks to the Matthew Stafford trade. And one of them, due to our record, is number 1 overall, and we are projected to take Andrew Wooden out of Kentucky with our number 1 overall pick. Oops. Wooden is probably my favorite cornerback prospect. We don't really know too much about his coverage skills just yet, but he's got really good physical skills, elite speed, elite acceleration, elite jumping. He's only 5'11", but he's also got really good catching. And we know that he's going to be able to stay on the field with a B in injury. So if he's projected to go number 1 overall to us, that says something about what the computer thinks that he is capable of. We don't know too much about his man or zone coverage abilities, which is unfortunate. But he is a man-to-man archetype, which means he's probably better with man coverage than zone coverage. So hopefully we'll be able to unlock a little bit more about his capabilities later on, because I do think we get one more option to scout some players. Music is a good way to get copyright claimed and taken down. Then again, channel isn't super large, so it's unlikely. You are correct there. There's proper channels, I think, to go through and stream music, I think. There's like a YouTube audio library or something. I'm just not super informed about it. But you're right, we don't want to get copyright struck. Landry Jackson might go to the Eagles here. What I've heard is that these mock drafts tend to get more accurate as they go along. We're on 3 of 5 right now, so this is a decent look ahead at the draft. And the Jets are scheduled, or I should say predicted, to take Mason Potter at number 7 after taking Zach Wilson, number 2 overall last year. Okay, there's the choice. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class, which kind of has me taking a look at which teams are actually drafting at a position of need here. And apparently we're supposed to go cornerback with our number 16 overall pick as well. This is one that was brought in from the Matthew Stafford trade. So Emmanuel Spriggs, rated in the second or third round, is probably my second favorite cornerback in the class. He's got really good press cover skills, and while his man and zone coverage skills leave a little bit to be desired, if he can body up with some of the bigger wide receivers in the league and stick to them off the line of scrimmage, then that brings a lot of value as a cornerback. Because press coverage is one area we really struggled last season, and we've got players like Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson in our division. So trying to stick on them is easier said than done. I think Emmanuel Spriggs is probably more of a slot cornerback based off of this array of skills. Again, we don't know too much about him, but he's got pretty good block shedding skills as well, which indicates that he's comfortable playing close to the line of scrimmage. 6 feet tall, 199 out of Tennessee. I don't think we'll go cornerback in this draft. I have other ideas in mind for this later first round pick here. The Browns might take a quarterback. If Baker Mayfield headed to free agency, I could see that happening. Max Hoodling is predicted to go to the Saints, which makes sense. Nathan Davis to the Titans, if Ryan Tannehill might be on his way out here soon. Devon Williams to the Buccaneers, but did Tom Brady retire? I don't think he did. I didn't see him on that list of retirements, but I may have just overlooked him. Alrighty. And that's it for quarterbacks in the first round. Let's go check on Tom Brady real quick. I feel like he usually retires. Like, that's a Madden thing, is just retire Tom Brady, and they've been trying to make him retire for the last several Maddens, the first offseason. Buccaneers, I'm gonna be way up here. Tom Brady's coming back for his 23rd NFL season. Oh my. I kind of hope we play the Buccaneers this season. Alright, so Madden is optimistic with Tom Brady's health and ability to play at age, how old is he? 45. But Tampa is clearly looking ahead to the future with what might be a first-round quarterback this season. So he lost only 24 regression points, which I think is being kind of conservative for a 45-year-old player. But, you know, it's Tom Brady. That man is something else, that's for sure. And he is supposedly a superstar X Factor, so... Wow. He's no longer 99 overall, however, so... But the Buccaneers had the number 2 seed in the NFC in our universe here, so... Very much looking forward to seeing how they do next season. Alrighty, let's head on to free agency. We'll take a look at college players here once we get some combine results, and I can talk a little bit about my strategy for the draft. But let's head on to the first stage of free agency, which is we're going to get the first chance to start wooing players to Detroit, seeing how we can start reshaping this roster. I'll also take a look at the current roster because we had a fair few people leave. Take a look at our current lineup right now. Overall, I think my two main areas of focus would be wide receiver and defensive, like front seven, I should say, on the defense. I think our cornerbacks can play a little bit better than what they showed this season. They're young, they've got potential, but we really struggled getting after the quarterback on defense. But let's take a look at the offense real quick. Jared Goff might be a cap casualty. He never really elevated his play well enough, and with his extension kicking in, we'll take less of a hit if we'll save more money, and we'll take less of a cap penalty if we release him in this offseason. We've got a couple of wide receivers that I'm confident that we can bring out next season in Quintez Cephas and Amon-Ra St. Brown. but I'd love a true number one to give them some more room to move around. Our offensive line is more or less set. I think we can get another season or two out of Halapulivati Vaitai here. He is 29 years old. He's only 70 overall, but he's serviceable at this point, and I don't really want to spend too much money on what is more or less a position of strength for us in the offensive line. So even though we could definitely upgrade at right guard, it's not a glaring need for us. On defense, it's looking at our front seven in particular. Michael Brockers is only 73 overall. I want to get some more help at the second level here. We need to sign at least 2 middle linebackers for me to be happier with this group. And then see if we can't bring in some pass rushers as well, preferably along the defensive front. We got some pass rush from Deshaun Hand this season, but beyond that, we didn't have a whole lot of consistent pass rush from Trey Flowers or Romeo Okwara. I also wouldn't be opposed to bringing in another cornerback, but I think there's enough options in the draft that it's not going to be a position of need for us in free agency. But let's go take a look at exactly who's available. We should have some money to play with here. Looks like we got 50 million, give or take. So let's go see who's available. Teron Armstead is the highest rated free agent. Oh man, this has me thinking if I don't think we need to sign him, but if we could, that would lock down our offensive line for the next couple of years. He's only 31 years old, 94 overall. Jason Kelsey is 34. Rob Gronkowski hit the free agent market as well. Casey Hayward is 32 years old. There's a number one corner right there. One of the better cornerbacks in the league. Doesn't have elite speed, but it looks like he can match up and shut down just about anybody. Good awareness, good play recognition. Worth a shot. I don't know if it's an immediate position of need. I should say, it is a position of need. There's almost no positions on this defense that we can't upgrade at. I don't know if adding a 32-year-old is the best way to address this position of need, given that we're not expected to be contending. If this was like season 3 or 4, and we were looking at a Super Bowl run, and Casey Hayward became available at 32 years old and 87 overall, I would probably jump on it. But I don't know if he's the best option, and I think we can spend our money elsewhere. Maybe on someone like Marcus Williams, who's already got 12 bids on him. 25 years old. 86 overall, star development. Number 7 ranked free safety in the league. That might get expensive quickly. Alright, Mike Gesicki. Let's go position by position. Jameis Winston is the highest rated quarterback. I already throw enough interceptions. Wait, is Travis Kelce available? Tight end. Oh, you're talking about Gronkowski? Gronk and TJ Hawkinson. How much money does he want? $10 million a year. He's 33 years old. Don't tempt me. Gronk and Hawkinson. I think the same thing with Gronk. He's 33, probably retires in 2 years. Alright, sorry, we're looking at quarterbacks. Maybe Mike Gesicki would be a better option here. Winston, Kaepernick. Man, again, like, this is a better... Kaepernick is just about... He's 77 overall. That's better than Jared Goff. He's got solid ratings across the board here. Not the best, not the most accurate, but he can make plays with his legs. but he's 34 years old. And if I'm looking at a championship window, that's not coming in the next 2 years, realistically. Fitzmagic, Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, Trubisky's 28 years old, Super Cam, Tyrod Taylor, Nick Foles, Nick Mullins, Kyle Trask is 24. I'm not seriously looking at a free agent quarterback here to be a starter. If only because there's some exciting options in the draft. Kyle Trask is a pure pocket passer. He is 24 years old. Worth a look. Josh Rosen. Taysom Hill. Chris Streveler, who finds himself a free agent after an inspiring Super Bowl run with the Cardinals. Alrighty, now not seeing any quarterbacks I like. Running back is not necessarily a position of need for us either. Marlon Mack is going to get expensive. I don't see us spending a lot of money here. Austin Scott was good for me in the Jets franchise. He's 27 in this universe. Not really a receiving threat. Johnson. Okay, not seeing anyone I like here either. Fullback is good. Wide receiver. Antonio Brown is the #1 option here at wide receiver. He's 34 years old, so again, he's outside of our championship window. He'd be a fringe #1 for us, though. I think we can do better. Michael Gallup is 26 years old. Only one offer from the Texans. Looks like there's not a very competitive market for wide receivers here. Gallup is the number 37 ranked wide receiver. I like a lot of what I see here. He's got good hands, decent route running, good release, good jumping. All the catches you want. He'll fight for yards, keeps his feet in bounds, covers the ball. There's a lot to like there. $12 million a year for 4 years. Probably a bit of a steal, to be honest. Christian Kirk is 25 years old. A little bit faster. Hands aren't quite as good. Route running is about the same. What does he want? Less money. Not significantly less, but there's also not a bidding war for him. Alright, I have interest in both Christian Kirk and Michael Gallup right now. Probably go for one or the other. Yeah, not Brown. Agreed on that. Oh, we're up to 3 viewers. This is exciting. Thank you so much for joining, taking some time out of your Saturday to join the stream. Very excited to have all of you here and grateful to be able to interact with y'all. Feel free to use the chat. I will try and keep an eye on that as much as I can. Sammy Watkins. 45 seconds to load. Well, that might also be me not looking at the chat super often, but Kirk or Gap look like great signs. Yeah, if you think reason we go one or the other, would love to have your input on that. One is younger. Kirk is a little bit younger. Gallup is probably the more true #1 target. Kirk is a little bit cheaper. Gallup has a more well-rounded game. Henry Ruggs. There's plenty of speed. Again, catching traffic isn't great. 99 speed. You can get into a lot of trouble with 99 speed. I think Kirk or Gallup are better options for the kind of wide receiver we're looking for. especially because we don't have a quarterback that's got a big arm. I don't know if we'd be able to hit Henry Ruggs easily down the field. He is very tempting to take because that kind of speed gets a lot of yards after the catch. And he is just 23 years old, so he'd be able to grow with the team. So there's that to keep in mind. Jacoby Myers, 6'2". We're probably going to spend a lot of time on this wide receiver screen just because there are so many options for us. Jacoby Myers has really good hands. Speed isn't quite there. Only 86 speed. Looks to be more of a physical wide receiver. But apparently he's got the slot archetype. Robinson is 27. I'm ideally looking for somebody who is 26 or younger, just to keep our arc in mind here. Taekwon Smith, deep threat, 6'2". Not a bad option here. Pretty average across the board. I think if we're just looking for one wide receiver, we're probably going to find them higher up the board here, but maybe some depth. We do need a kick returner. Oh, you see them on the screen for 5 seconds later. Kirk will develop more. Dev Factor, they're both star developments. So I think Kirk might develop more. Here's Deontay Harris, who's 24 years old. Good speed. 90 kick return. Could sub in at wide receiver in a pinch. That's a lot of money to commit to someone who's just going to be a kick returner. So maybe we come back to kick return. Oh, there's John Ross. What does he look like for hands? Because here's someone else who is fast. Very fast. Nope. Yeah, we'll come back to kick returner. I think that might be something we can address in the preseason because there's usually some undrafted free agents or someone who can make a splash as a kick returner. So I'd like to figure out if we want to take a look at Gallup or Kirk. Well, Michael Gallup, 26 years old. Pretty solid across the board here. What sets him apart, I think, from Christian Kirk is his 85 release, which is super helpful when it comes to getting off the line against press coverage, and that's definitely an area that we struggle with our current roster. He's also got 89 deep route, which is super nice. Injuries 91, stamina and toughness are both mid-80s. Christian Kirk is a little bit shorter, 2 inches shorter. Hands aren't quite as good, but he will get a boost from our offensive coordinator in the catch and traffic area. Injuries 89, stamina is 87, toughness is 91. He could also return kicks potentially. I think you are right, Burgos, that Kirk is going to develop a little bit more. And I think he is probably the one I'm going to make an offer to. And I think we might be able to get him a little bit cheaper. Just because there's no bargains for his services just yet. So 4 years, $42 million, I think is a steal for what could be a number 1 wide receiver. 91 total points. We'll see how this goes. I kind of want to offer to Henry Ruggs as well. Let's come back to him and just see what we can do elsewhere. Tight end isn't necessarily a position of need. Gesicki is a tempting offer though here. He is 26 years old. Having him alongside TJ Hawkinson would definitely be a difficult 1-2 punch for defenses to stop. Hold on, let me see if I can't YouTube chat. Is there settings here? No? Okay. Alright, it'd be nice if I could get the YouTube chat to pop up. I don't know what I'm doing here. Never mind. I'm going to try and do some quick tech support here to try and get the comments to load faster. But looks like we'll just try something else next time. Sorry about the delay here. Hayden Hurst. Dalton Schultz is 26. I'd be looking for somebody younger that's going to be able to grow with the team again. We're very quickly into the low 70s here. Chris Herndon. I giggle because I'm a Vikings fan. We saw how that trade worked out. Left tackle. I'd love to add a swing tackle. We did suffer plenty of offensive line injuries, so having some depth is helpful. Someone like Teron Armstead is way too expensive for us to consider. That would really hurt our opportunity to invest elsewhere in this team. As much as I'd love to. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. And would probably be around when we're competing for a championship. Yeah, I think he just would not be worth the money to us. Cam Robinson is also one of the top targets out there. I don't really want to get into a bidding war for him. Joseph Notebloom, 27 years old. These depth players don't necessarily need to be here in a couple of years, but if they can, again, grow with the team, that'd be kind of nice. Jerron Christian looks to be the best pass blocker. Actually could be a borderline starter based off of his overall here. I'm comfortable with this deal. Let's make it 8 flat. 2 years, $8 million. With Taylor Decker getting injured, I think it's a decent offer here to bring in some offensive line depth. So 91 total points to Jerron Christian, 25 years old. He can back up Taylor Decker or Penei Sewell. Any guards that can come and step in for Halapulivati Vaitai? We've already got a lot of money tied up in our offensive line here. So even someone like Connor Williams, who I'd like to bring in, I don't think... Oh, that's really cheap actually. Nope, let's take a look. We have our entire defense to look through here. Not offering to Jason Kelsey or Ben Jones. Will Hernandez wants $4 million. Any backups that look like they might be decent options here? Nope. You need a backup center. Frank Ragnow has dealt with injuries here. But my name's Billy. Billy Price. I have flashbacks. I had a Madden 20 franchise, just my own personal one, when I rebuilt the Bengals, and Billy Price, I think, was a left guard back then, and he gave up so many sacks in my first season. But he'd be an okay backup. Wants $3 million though. Brian Allen's got plenty. Lamont Gallard, 26 years old. You know, let's see if he'll take a lower offer. Maybe for a couple of years. Go from there. I'm spending too much money on the offense. That's not where we need to be spending it. Let's switch to the I don't think we're going to find anybody here. Yeah, we'll just do our due diligence. Alright. Defensive line. This is where we can start actually shelling some money out. You know, if we cut Jared Goff, I bet we'd have more cap room here. Elvin Ingram is 33. G Ford is 31. Same with Olivier Vernon. Dwayne Smoot has the size I'm looking for. Remember, we run a 3-4 scheme here in Detroit. I don't think that's going to change heading into next season. So we're looking for bigger ends that can play inside on passing and rushing downs as well. Someone like Dean Lowry, 6'6", 296. He is 28 years old. But this is the kind of size and probably skill set that I'm looking for as we're going along. Decent strength, good power moves, block shedding is not quite there. I might need to up some XP sliders as well if he's middle of the pack for starters. Taekwon Lewis, 74 overall, 27 years old. Good run stopper, decent pass rusher as well. He looks to be more of an edge rusher though, with that skill set. Odegabo. Not seeing a lot of younger players to invest in here. Lancaster. Porter Gustin. Nope. Just mostly looking at age and size at this point. Jalen Holmes. We're kind of into the backup here, which is unfortunate. Yeah, nothing here. Alrighty, let's move on to right ends. We'll come back to defensive tackle. Ndamukong Suh. 35 years old. Nope, Jerry Hughes is 34. Morgan Fox. 27. 6'3", 260 power rusher archetype. Good power moves, decent, below average block shedding. Strength isn't quite there. He'd be more of a pass rusher, which is kind of what we need. Let's see what else is out there. Derek Barnett. Looks to be more edge than anything. 6'3", 259 is on the small side for an interior lineman. Good strength though. You'll love to see that. He can hold his own. He's 26. That's still kind of getting up there. We're signing somebody. I want him to be able to grow with the team. As I said before, Rasheem Green, 25 years old. This is more like it. 6'4", 279. Good power moves. Strength is okay. Kind of running out of options here for pass rushers. Jordan Willis is someone that I tend to like, but he doesn't really have. He's got good speed and good strength, which makes him really helpful in a 3-4 scheme. You can line him up at a lot of different areas, but the power moves aren't quite there. And he is 27 years old. Nope. I'm being conservative here with the money that we have, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know if I'm okay having another tough season next year if it means we're able to wisely spend money going forward and actually address positions of need when we need it. Jabari Zuniga. Nope. I don't really want to commit just yet. Okay. Defensive tackle. We shouldn't overlook that. I wouldn't say it's a huge position of need. Lee McNeil is going to be going into his second year, and I think he played pretty well for us last season. But maybe some of these guys can be converted to ends. You see it all the time. Sebastian Josode is 27 years old. Again, no one that's Malik McDowell. 6'6", 315. Might be worth a look. Kind of like this combination of skills right here. What would it take to bring him in? Not a lot. 18 million for 3 years. Be basically an immediate starter on our defensive line. Something is wrong with the defensive tackle market here. Let's offer that. 94 total points. Just us and the Cardinals, who have outbid us. You know, he's cheap. Let's see if we can't up our game a little bit here. 3 years, 2.5. Alrighty, that puts us in the driver's seat. It's our first offer on a defensive player here. I like Malik McDowell's skill set, and I think he can contribute on all 3 downs. Tim Settle as a run stopper. Inval Joseph. Doug Costin. Star development, 24 years old. These are the kinds of deals we're looking for early on in our rebuild here. Good block shedding. Looks to be a pure run stopper, however, which is less useful to this team. Not saying he couldn't develop, but BJ Hill. Any new chats? Nope, not just yet. Awesome. Tristan Hill, 24 years old. Nope. Alrighty. That might be it for defensive tackles that meet my criteria. Let's head on to our outside linebackers. Remember, we're going to be looking for some pass rush depth here. Keanu Neal at left outside linebacker. What does his skill set look like? Could he swing inside? Good speed. Good hit power, good pursuits, good strength, good zone coverage. I wonder. We signed Keanu Neal and move him inside in the 3-4 scheme. Interesting. Worth a look. Would certainly help with our pass coverage over the middle. Renzo Carter's speed rusher. 25 years old. We'll check him out. We're being super thorough here. Thank you for your patience. I promise we'll get on to interesting things here soon enough. Not a bad skill set here. Good hit power. The finesse and block shedding are adequate. What do we have for outside linebackers? Romeo Okwara, Trey Flowers. What do we have on the other side? Julian Okwara and okay. I actually have some interest in Frankie Louvu, although it looks like there might be a bidding war for his services. DeAndre Walker, 25 years old. Similar skill set to Frankie Louvu. Alright, let's make an offer to Frankie. Give him 3 years and see. I don't think this will be a very competitive offer. I'm not super sold on him as a player, but that might be enough to bring him in, actually. I don't know. We'll take a look. It is a leading offer, but we are the Detroit Lions. Middle linebacker is really where I'd like for us to be able to spend some money. Jaylen Brown is the top option. 27 years old, will probably be 30 by the time we are contending. But he is one of the best middle linebackers in the league. And he could make an immediate impact in all areas of the game. Good zone coverage, good play recognition, good block shedding, good speed. He's super rangy. I love what he'd be able to bring to our offense, or to our defense. Dante Hightower, Devondre Campbell's 29, Reuben Foster's 28. Here we go. Chris Barnes, 24 years old, star development. Here's someone who can grow as our starting middle linebacker. Let's lock him up. 4 years, 26 million. Let's see what kind of offer this generates. 95 total points. There are a whole bunch of people interested in his services. I'm gonna up our offer just a little bit. to try and ensure that he chooses us. Pull away from the Dolphins. Now I am interested in another. I wanted Sean Dean Hamilton as well. I want him back. Here's Alex Anzaloni. He was someone that said I wanted to bring back potentially. Not that badly though, honestly. Kaiser White is 26. Got the pass coverage archetype. There's Sean Dean Hamilton. Let's lowball him a little bit and see if he'll come back. He doesn't have any offers just yet. I like him. I just like what he was able to do for us last season. So $6 million, 2 years, 85 total points. Going from there. If you are just joining us, welcome. We are working our way through the first round of free agency. This is probably going to be one of the longer parts of the stream before we get to the draft. So thank you for your patience as we go through this. That's it for linebackers. Cornerbacks. Casey Hayward is the top corner, a little bit old for what our championship window is looking like. Dante Jackson is 26. Dawson is 29. Kenzie Alexander is 28. No one is 25 or less, or younger I should say, which is unfortunate. It makes sense as well because good cornerbacks aren't going to reach the market. Nick Needham is the first 25-year-old. We're running out of cap space here. Only 86 speed. It's a little bit of a disappointment. Can't really keep up without safety help. Another Trey Flowers. Should we get another one? Complete the collection. Isaiah Oliver. Again, most of these guys are better than our current starting cornerbacks, which gives you an idea. Ooh, 80 press coverage. That in itself is very tempting. That'd be one of the best marks on the team. Excited this is only your first draft. Yep. Sure you can fill some spots, thanks. Stafford, trade, and picks. Yes, that is the hope. That is the hope. And we get a couple of first round picks, so next year we have another one as well. Kind of tempted to bring in Isaiah Oliver, but also this is saddled with the knowledge that we already have 3 young corners on the team. Do we want to introduce more competition for them, or do we trust them to try and fight it out? Because this is the reason. One of the reasons I'm hesitant to bring in a cornerback in free agency. That's not obviously a slam dunk. Is the fact that there's a lot of cornerbacks to choose from in the draft, and I'm guessing that someone like Andrew Wooden is going to have more upside than somebody like Isaiah Oliver or Eli Apple. So that is guiding my thought process on that. So I don't think I'm going to offer to any cornerbacks here. There was one actually higher up here that was, I think, 27 years old. That's star development. Or no, 26. Dante Jackson is 83 overall. Worth taking a look at here because he could step in. 96 speed. That forgives a lot of sins. What would it take to bring him in? That would just about drain what little cap we have left. I'm gonna go with no. It's gonna be. This is a risk that I'm taking here and not offering to a veteran cornerback. But I'm gonna hope that guys like Jeff Ojuka and Amani Orarie and Ifatu Melafanu are going to. We got a chat here. Consider positions you scouted as well and think what you may want to draft already as you look at free agency. Yeah. One of the nice things about this season is that I've been able to live with the draft class and stuff for a while. I've got a fairly clear picture based off of free agency what I want to target. I don't want to go after Marcus Williams. I don't think that would... He'd be an upgrade for sure. 86 overall is nothing to sneeze at. He'd actually be cheaper than... well, with this offer he'd be cheaper than adding a cornerback. Safeties are hard to come by. We dealt with injuries. This would relegate someone like Will Harris to a backup role on the team, which is not a bad problem to have. Let's see what this offer would actually do. 90 points, that's not going to do it. We are 9th of 13. Let's see. Yeah, that is a fair offer. Oh my, we can't afford this right now. Wow. Alrighty, don't need a kicker, we don't need a punter. So our negotiations, the big ones to take a look at here, Christian Kirk. We've got no other offers on him, so hopefully he will accept that with us. Chris Barnes is one I am crossing my fingers on. I think he'd be a big addition to our defense here. Malik Mcdowell is another person I'd love to bring on board. Frankie Louvu for some depth. Jerron Christian, Sean Dean Hamilton, and Lamont Gillard for more depth. So that, I think, is all we're going to do for some offers in this first round. I think the other question is, before we get too far, is do we want to release Jared Goff? That's kind of the elephant in the room with this team. He's got a massive contract and his play was not deserving of that contract. We'd get $15 million penalty for releasing him. We'd also save $15 million as well, so I think it'd be more or less a wash at this point. It would more or less lock us into drafting a quarterback this offseason and throwing a rookie quarterback to the Wolves next season. But it's the area, it's the direction I'm leaning just because of the strength of the quarterback class and just the desire to have something exciting in the second season. I don't think Jared Goff inspired anybody with his play. So if we release him now, we'll have some more cap to play with as free agency thins out and we start filling some holes on this roster. But it also does leave David Blau as our only quarterback, who honestly might actually be, he played better than Jared Goff when I played with him. So let's take a look real quick at the, actually we get to look at combine results. Wow, already. And I can talk about some of the players that I really like in this draft class as well. This is a Madden generated draft class. I have not touched any of these players. In my previous series I had a friend edit and create a draft class for us, but this one has been completely generated by Madden with no changes. So I have no idea what we're getting and I'm super excited to take a look at this draft class. Landry Jackson is the consensus #1 overall pick. He is an elite left tackle. He can do it all. He's got really good measurables. The only question mark is the D injury score, but he can protect somebody's blind side for years to come. A, awareness, A, pass block, A, pass block finesse, and B, pass block power. As well as B, run block power as well, so he's not just a one-trick pony. Can I trade Goff? Unlikely. And additionally, I don't necessarily think that's realistic to do. Like which team that needs a quarterback, because there are several that need a quarterback, but which team is going to try and take on Jared Goff's contract knowing that they could probably have their pick of one of half a dozen quarterback prospects in the first round here? I don't think you'd find takers for that contract. The fact that the Lions even traded for him was indicative of the cap space that they found. Yeah, let's take quarterbacks here real quick. There's a whole bunch of first-round quarterbacks, including a couple in the top 5. Steve Knowles and Mason Potter are the top 2 picks. at least based off of these projections. It's a good suggestion though, Bros. Trying to trade him. Normally I would, but not with this contract. I don't think it'd be realistic for a computer to take that on, especially for a player of his caliber. The knock on Knowles that he's not the fastest. He's very much a pocket passer. Poor acceleration and decent speed. If you've not taken a look at Madden 22's scouting ranks before, elite is obviously the best, and it goes down from there, with poor being the worst. And they also rank their skills on an A to F scale. So, whoops, I just exited out of everything. Alright, Mason Potter is someone that I had a lot of interest in. He looks to be a very solid prospect. He can run. He's got good accuracy on his deep ball. Good throw on the run. Good throw under pressure. Certainly would fit very well with the team here. But the knock on him is he only has solid throw power, which puts him in the middle of the pack. So that has me a little bit hesitant to take him. Like, I'm not seeing a bona fide number one, like, can do it all quarterback between Steve Knowles and Mason Potter. Ed Mclean is one of my favorite options here. He can really get the ball out, but he only has good throw power for a strong arm quarterback, which is surprising. And again, he's more of a pocket passer. He does have really good accuracy, however, and good throw under pressure. The knock on him is his stamina. Interestingly enough, that actually really impacts how players play at the end of drives, at the end of games even. And given that we found ourselves needing a heroic comeback at several times throughout this season, I want to find a quarterback with better stamina than that. Maybe I'm too picky, but you don't. Franchise quarterbacks need to have the right tools to start, and I don't think stamina is something that actually upgrades with outside of like coach upgrades and stuff. Here is Max Hoodling. The knock on him is that he's got a slow, elongated throwing motion. He also only has good throw power, and he's a pocket passer as well. So even if his accuracy is pretty solid, not really, again, that quarterback you're looking to build a team around. If you can't get the ball out quickly. Nathan Davis is another first-round quarterback. These are the guys we'll get to pick from. And obviously there's something, they all have their strengths and weaknesses here, so I'm going to knock all these quarterbacks. There's always something to pick at when you're looking for a franchise passer, because not everybody's going to be your Patrick Mahomes or your Russell Wilson or your Aaron Rodgers. Here's Nathan Davis. He's got a nice fast throwing motion, elite arm strength, which is nice, kind of a slower quarterback, which is unfortunate, because I'd like someone who can extend plays a little bit. And the question mark with him is in regard to his accuracy. He's got decent accuracy, short and medium, and he'll stand in the pocket and take some hits. He actually might be one of my favorite quarterbacks, just taking a look at this. But he's not actually the quarterback that I like the most. Devon Williams is an improviser. We're almost there. He's got good throw accuracy deep, but he struggles with really short throws. He is a pretty mobile quarterback, but the unfortunate thing, he only has decent throw power, which is not good. You can't get the ball down the field. What good is throwing it deep? My favorite quarterback here is next, Bob Hairston. And I'm going to say it right away, we have a lot of question marks about his ability to put the ball in the right place. He kind of reminds me a lot of LaMarcus Albert if you were around for the New York Jets franchise. He's got a D in injury as well, which is kind of a risk. But he's got incredible physicals. He was marked great elite for most of the season. And he's the first one you've actually seen with great throw power, which is right near the top. He ran a 4.55 at the combine, and he is top 6 in every single combine category at the position. So he's someone who also has a fast and smooth throwing motion, and he's got a beautiful spiral on all of his passes, which is helpful. He's also only 21 years old, which means that he has a bright future ahead of him. You know, we're not going to be hitting his prime before we're ready to start contending for a Super Bowl here. So that has me, and the fact that he's also ranked pretty low on this list of first round quarterbacks. He's all the way down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Means that he might even fall into our laps at the beginning of the second round. The board after that gets a little bit tougher here. Brian Bacon is, we don't know too much. Well, we got 95% of him scouted. He's got elite throw power, which is cool. But an F in injury and an F in awareness along with a D in stamina make me very hesitant to spend any kind of draft capital on him. Oh boy, we're already an hour and a half into this stream. Got one viewer on. We peaked at 3. That's super exciting. I think that's the most we've ever had, is 3 at one point. So after that, it just kind of falls off pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot that I'm interested in here. Jacob Graves has a pretty good name as well. Everyone else is a day 3 talent. And his accuracy is suspect. And he's also even slower than some of the aforementioned pocket passer quarterbacks. Alrighty. But I should probably go through my draft board real quick. What my draft strategy looks like. Right now, my first pick is number 1 overall. Assuming we get our choice of players and we don't like trade back or something. D'Angelo Carmichael is one of my favorite players. Again, he's just 21 out of Florida, apparently. Same school as Bob Harrison is. Something is in the water down in Florida there. And he's got really good measurables across the board. And his skills as a run stopper are really enticing. A awareness, B block shedding. Not sure what to make of the finesse and the power moves because he's a middle linebacker and they don't tend to use those, but good hit power and good impact blocking. And we know he's a run stopper as well. 6'1", 250, he could fit right into our 3-4 scheme. Yeah, so he's one of the 2 options I have for our first pick. The other one is cornerback Andrew Wooden, who's kind of been overlooked, I think, given his talent. The the fun thing about Wooden, he is 23 years old, so he's a little bit older. But he's got elite speed, top 10 in every single category, and he's got an A in catching, which might make him a turnover machine for us. I think he's also got a lot of room to grow as a cornerback. We don't know too much about his coverage skills, but I think he'd be a pretty safe pick for us. And he might even fall a little bit because he's a number 3 cornerback on a lot of boards here, projected to go in the tail end of the first round. But I'm not kidding when I say there's a lot of good cornerbacks as well. And Emmanuel Spriggs is actually, I think, my second favorite here. We highlighted him earlier because he's been mocked to us in a couple of drafts. But good press cover corner. They say he is known to attract flags, which is unfortunate. Doesn't look to be as much of a ball hawk, and his speed is not that good. He ran a 4.53 at his combine, so we'll see if he can increase that, or I should say decrease that at his pro day here in a week or 2. So I think Andrew Wooden is my favorite, but there's a bunch of good cornerbacks here as well. After that, we also want to continue taking a look at our defensive line, and there's a couple of pass rushers that have brought my eye. One is Devon Woodson. Again, we don't know too much about him, but what really sets him apart is his physical tools here. Elite speed for defensive tackle, great strength, great jumping, great agility, change of direction. His acceleration is solid. And he's got A in play recognition and B awareness. So we don't know too much about his pass rushing or his run stopping ability. Looks to be average probably at getting off his blocks. But that kind of his build, he reminds me a lot of Aaron Donald in terms of his skill set here, and his physicality. So that has me taking a look at Devon Woodson. Another player that was actually came up in a oh shoot, what's the term? They had like a scenario engine. Yeah, the scenario came up. Alex Collins, who probably wouldn't be on my draft board if it wasn't for it. 23 years old at LSU, and when I think a defensive tackle, I tend to think more run-stopping players, so that's why Alex Collins wasn't on my list. With an F and hit power, he didn't really look to be a good run stopper, but he does have A power moves, good speed, and great strength. He had 35 reps and might be able to get after the passer here. So if he falls later into the second or into the third round, I could see us taking him and adding to our defensive front. I'd love to get more interior pass rush because we're just not getting it from the edges right now. So Alex Collins is another option. Let's see. Looking at edge rushers, I don't think some of these guys will be available to us just because of what I'm looking to use our first round picks on. James Hughes might fall to the second round, 6'3", 244. Pretty good across the board here. Eye-popping acceleration. Elite acceleration there. It's only a C in his power moves, however. A impact block. So he might be someone that can grow. But we'll just have to see how the board falls here. Any other... Oh, there's a couple of depth players that I'm taking a look at as well. Or I shouldn't say depth, but later on. One of my favorite players in this draft is Dexter Allen. And we don't know too much about him. Again, we don't know a lot about a whole bunch of these players. I'm still figuring out the scouting engine, but I focused on quarterbacks this season. 6'3", 257, and he blew my socks off earlier on in the season when I saw his ratings on the left side there, and the combine here is showing that those numbers are validated. He's top 6 in everything. Ran a 4.59 and had 23 reps as a tight end. His skills also paints a really rosy picture for someone who's a day 3 projection. A in short route means that he can get open. And a C in run block power means that he can contribute in more than just the passing game. You also have an A in stamina as well, which is really good for a backup tight end, because we saw Hawkinson lead the field a couple of times toward the end of games last season, just because he didn't have enough stamina to get back in the game. So someone like Dexter Allen might be worth a late round pick. I think he's definitely worth a late round pick. Maybe even earlier, depending on the interest for him, because I think he's one of the sleepers in this draft class for sure. There's one other player that has been flying under the radar that I'd like to bring in, and it's Desean Stevenson out of USC. He's easy to miss. He's just 5'5", 181. But he's got great speed, ran a 4.47 at his combine. And I really like that he, again, has an A in his short route and a C in pass block, which means he can probably be a valuable third down running back for us. And that was something we were lacking after DeAndre Swift went down with an injury last season. So he might be worth a later pick as well, just to add a wrinkle to our offense and try and get our running backs involved more. So that is kind of what my draft board looks like. It's going to be best player available for most of it, and I hope to be able to showcase some of these players as we're going along. If you've been watching some of my other videos, you'd note that I'm not super impressed with any of the wide receivers in this draft class. Even the ones with the round 1 grade aren't really showing elite ability to get away from coverage and stuff. Like, no one's got a really good 40 that also is able to back it up with good hands. And at this point, we just don't know a whole lot about these wide receivers, so I don't see us trying to take a swing on one of these players that we don't know a whole lot about. There is one player, Dave Goodwich, that has an impressive resume here. He has been linked to us along with the Kansas City Chiefs. And he ran he had elite speed earlier. He ran a 4.31. Alright. Well, the reason I was taking a look at him, he's got an A in kick return, a C in his route running, and or his medium route running, and a B spectacular catch, which indicates that he's got decent hands and solid route running skills. But apparently he's got the speed as well, and he's a wide receiver out of Alabama. So that's a pretty good endorsement right there. And he's only 21 years old, so maybe we look at bringing in Dave Goodrich as well. We'll see where he goes. Man, we're going to have some hard decisions to make in this draft class, because there are so many good players, but few opportunities for us to try and select them. So it'll be about playing the board and trying to figure out where exactly we want to invest our money, or invest our picks, I should say. So before we head on to the second stage of negotiation, here are the offers we have out there for some free agents hoping to address our wide receiver and our interior defensive positions with a couple of signings here, get some depth on the offensive and the defensive fronts as well. So let's move on to the second stage of free agency, see how many of these players we're able to bring in. You're just joining us, we're 2.5 hours through the stream right now. Thank you so much for watching. It's always fun to do this with other people present, and I'm grateful that you chose to spend some of your Saturday here with me playing or watching the Detroit Lions rebuild. We'll also get another mock draft, it looks like. Alrighty, so heading down here, Sean Dean Hamilton accepts the offer. Malik Mcdowell rejects us. Oh man. Chris Kirk is a Detroit Lion now. Jerron Christian becomes a Lion. We pick up at center as well, but Frankie Luvu and Chris Barnes decline our offers. That's disappointing. There's more retirements? 2021 retirements. No? Alright. Maybe there were a couple more retirements there, but Tom Brady wasn't one of them, and that was the big name I was looking for. There's Pro Day results, so now we need to take a look. Whoops, I want to take a look at our roster real quick. Adjust the lineup. You can see where we are at going into this second stage of free agency. Man, not getting Chris Barnes was unfortunate. I probably could have offered more money. Alrighty. So we were able to bring in Christian Kirk, which is exciting. Looking forward to seeing how he contributes to this team. Liking all that he brings to our offense. He can stretch the field, he's got good hands, decent route running, and he can take some pressure off of Quintez Cephas. On defense, we basically struck out with our two big signings there, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping we'd get one or the other. And this this means I'll probably take D'Angelo Carmichael with our first round pick, because he is usually mocked to go, I think he was mocked to go like number 6 or 7. So he wouldn't be around at our second first round pick. Let's take a look at this new mock draft and see where he's going, where he's anticipated to go. Yeah, number 6 to the Steelers. That's unfortunate that we didn't get Chris Barnes or that defensive end, as they don't start taking cornerbacks until number 12 overall. I wonder if Andrew Wooden might not be available at our second first round pick if we go Carmichael with our number 1 overall pick. You know, if this works out, we might actually, I don't see Bob Harrison in any of these projected picks. Why are the Jets selected to... Madden, come on. You've got Zach Wilson, who's the number 2 overall pick previously, like last year. They had them taking another quarterback at number 7, and then a second first-round quarterback at number 20. I know this is a mock draft, but come on, man. So maybe we shouldn't put much faith in this mock draft in terms of how it would end up. But if Bob Harrison falls to the beginning of the second round, we can address our defense with 2 first-round picks. That'd be cool. So this probably means I'll take D'Angelo Carmichael early, because we need some interior help, and then focus on that defensive line, like I said. Someone like Alex Collins. But there are some pro day results as well. Let's take a real quick look at the free agents. Got $35 million in cap room. Oh, that's the signings, of course. Tron Armstead becomes a Seahawk. Kelsey goes to the Dolphins. Marcus Williams to the Eagles. Gesicki to the football team. Sebastian Joseph Day to Baltimore. Marlon Mack to Houston. Michael Gallup also goes to Houston. They're reloading down south. Jan Brown to the Bengals. Dante Jackson to the... Wow. Winston goes to the Colts. So they've given up on the Carson Wentz experiment and signed him for $20 million a year for 3 years. How are they finding that kind of money? I don't know. Keanu Neal becomes a Raven as well. Man, the Super Bowl victors are not messing around. They're making a splash in free agency and shoring up their already formidable defense. Let's see. Another signing to the Ravens. Morgan Fox goes to the Texans. Chris Barnes goes to the Dolphins. Man, I'm pretty sure we offered him more money. I can't remember how much it was. And Malik McDowell goes to the Super Bowl runners-up. Can't blame him there. I think we offered more money in that case as well, but... That's too bad. Couple more signings here. I haven't seen the Vikings or the Packers really sign anybody. Mariota's a Steeler now. Yeah, not seeing any signings for the Vikings or the Packers. Bears had a couple. Here, DeAndre Walker. 69 overall speed rusher to the Vikings. Packers still haven't signed anybody. That would be par for the course for them. Vikings re-sign Holton Hill. Or bring him back, I should say. Alrighty. That's it for the first round of free agency signings. Oops, probably shouldn't have exited out of that. Let's head back to the free agent pool. See if we can't bring in some players. Alex Anzaloni is still out there, so I might bring him back. Gronk's got a bid now. Casey Hayward still has no interest. Alrighty, let's head right to defensive end, because that's where we're going to need some help. Dean Lowry's 28. Deshaun Robinson is 27. 74 overall out of Alabama. Decent block shedding, good strength. Not seeing anything here that's really blowing me away. Right end is Ndamukong Suh's too old, as is Jerry Hughes. Derek Barnett might be one of our better choices at this point. Good strength, decent power moves. Alrighty. We're gonna pause right here. I need to take a quick bio break. So I'm gonna put the shameless plug thing in transition. I will be right back. Thank you for your patience. Okie dokie. Let's get back to things here. We are in the middle of our second round of free agency here, looking at somebody like Derek Barnett, 26 years old, $8 million a year. Make it at least 3 years for that kind of money. We do have the room to start throwing some money at him. Let's take a look at that. 90 total points. Gonna put us well behind the Texans. Or I guess we're not getting into that bidding war here. DeCarson McKinley. Nope. Rasheem Green, 25 years old, out of USC. We're hunting for bargains at this point. We're not going to find what we're looking for necessarily. You know, I have some interest in him. $8.9 over 2 years. He's 7 total points. Puts us well behind the Jaguars. Man. Back to 2 viewers. Wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. Thank you again for spending your time this afternoon watching me go through a Madden offseason. Play recognition and awareness are kind of low, but good speed, good strength, decent power moves. I think he's worth taking a shot here. 2 years. The team-friendly contract here for someone with no other interest. Alright. And we're also looking maybe a defensive tackle to bring in. Solomon Thomas. Plenty of interest there. Tristan Hill. 24 years old. Nope. Alright. What about the linebacker position? Dante Hightower, Devondre Campbell. Anybody. That's young enough. Alex Anzaloni again. Kenny Young. 26. Play recognition and awareness are pretty low. I mean, they should be at this point, but Anzaloni for 2 more years. I'm okay with that. I think his play recognition and his awareness, when you're not getting hit with morale like he is, are good enough. You give him a similar offer to the one I offered. 2 more years of Alex Anzaloni for $6.7 million. Might be enough to bring him back. Alrighty. Cornerbacks, still not really interested in anybody here. Alrighty. So, just those 2 offers out right now, Alex Anzaloni and Jabari Zuniga. And I'm going to need to take a look at the pronunciation there of his last name. So I will for sure do that. For now, I'll just call him Jabari, because I'm more confident in that pronunciation than that of his last name. And yeah, off we go. We can take a look at some Pro Day results now, however, and that's super exciting. Especially want to take a look at players like Bob Harrison and, well, let's see how Landry Jackson did. I don't think he is probably the best player in this draft class, but he's not someone I'm personally interested in. 38 reps at his Pro Day. Top 6 in everything except for his broad jump, which is hardly something you're asking your lineman to do. Let's see, D'Angelo Carmichael. Ran a 4.52. So not elite speed, but it is pretty good, and he's top 5 in just about everything else. Solid jumping. Javonte Meadows, actually, he's got top 5 talents. I'm trying to think of why I'm less interested in him. Oh, that's right, he's got decent strength. He only had 24 reps and went sideways from his combine to his pro day. So he's a good, like, outside 4-3 defensive end. He's got really good acceleration, good speed, and good power moves as well. Like, he's going to be a cornerstone of a defense for a while here with this kind of skill set. But I don't see him being an every down player for us, and that has me hesitant to consider him. Let's see. Well, we should look at outside linebackers here too. Emmanuel Spriggs, 6'5", 264. There's a big boy right there. Good speed, great strength. Good across the board in all of his physicals. Good block shot, good play recognition, good power moves, and good injury. Huh. He's a solid prospect, that's for sure. I don't think he's #1 overall. Who else do we want to take a look at? Brenton Gillisley actually won the best pass rusher award in college. He's 6'3", 278, so kind of the size I'm looking for in the interior. But he's not an incredible athlete. Solid is middle of the pack here. Only 25 reps. And his stamina is not that great. Don't know anything about his pass rushing ability. Let's see, I want to take a look. Oh, Bob Harrison, here he is. He's now number 15 ranked on this list, which is... looks like he had a really good pro day, which is good for us and not good for us. I was really hoping that he'd fall to the second round, but I'm not even sure he's going to get to our second first round pick. 4.54, top 7 and everything. And he's got great throw power. I think this is the safest pick for a quarterback of the future here. And now I'm not sure where he's going to land. We've been going up draft boards pretty much since the beginning of the season. He was a late first round, maybe early second round pick earlier this season, and he's just gone up and up and up. Oh, I want to look at Andrew Wooden as well, but real quick. Harrison is still number 7 on this board of quarterbacks, but not sure if I really trust this ranking. Like, after Ed Mclean, any of these next 3 could be passed on. I want to look at cornerbacks as well. Andrew Wooden specifically. See how his numbers held up. 4.34 again at his pro day. Bench reps went down. Vertical jump went down. Broad jump went down. Cone drill decreased, and his shuttle decreased as well. Alrighty, so that is good news for us as well. He's a solid corner. Stephen Harrison's also pretty good as well. We just know less about him. He is 21 years old, got a B in press, and he did run a 4.43, which is pretty good for a cornerback. That'll put you in the 90 speed for sure. And that's about where most wide receivers are running. The question is, what's his coverage like? Got a B in press, which is good, but we just don't know very much about him. Huh. Alrighty. I think my second favorite cornerback after Harrison would be Andrew Edwards. Although he's got solid speed according to this. Jumping is decent. The reason I like him is that he's 6'3". And that kind of size is hard to find in a first round cornerback, but I don't know if he's really someone I would take a close look at. Emmanuel Spriggs had an underwhelming 40 at his combine. Pro day gets a little bit better, but he's still not going to be winning many races. It's also interesting, he's got an A in press, but he only had 11 bench reps, which is not very good. He's only got decent strength according to this, so interesting. Oh, I can refresh the chat. Is that working now? Combine made this tough on you. Definitely. Not a bad problem to have. It's just you're not going to get all the players you're looking at, unfortunately. Dexter Allen. Just gonna keep checking him because he had a really monster combine in his pro day. Look at this. Top 3 in every single category. Wow. This is a prospect right here. How is he flying this far under the radar? He went to Michigan. He's blowing up the drills. That's insane. Alright, he's definitely on my list of people to draft. Have to draft carefully and maybe trade up and down to get more picks. I absolutely agree, Bugros. I don't tend to move around a whole lot in Madden drafts. But that's what we're looking at here. Mock draft number 4 is also out. This might give us more information. Oop, that's mock draft number 1. Still has us taking Andrew Wooden at number 1. Steve Knowles goes to the Giants. Carmichael to... Let's see. How many teams are taking quarterbacks? Just Mason Potter. The Giants have another pick. The Vikings football team might take one. The Broncos might. Huh. This will be interesting. I don't think that, well, Aaron Rodgers is retiring. I think the Packers are probably going to take a quarterback at 29. Even though they're mocked to take a cornerback here, you've got a big Aaron Rodgers sized hole on your team, and it's coming at the end of a year where there's a lot of quarterbacks that are available. So I don't know if this... Yeah, it'd be nice to have 2 tight end formations. That would definitely help with the lack of wide receiver talent on this team. I definitely want to take Dexter Allen at some point. I hope we get the opportunity to do that. Alright. We need to start picking things up here. We're going to have no time for the NFL draft. Let's move on and head on to stage 3. Got the 2 offers out, Alex Anzaloni and some defensive end who slips my mind. Oh, Jabari. Hey, so we brought them in. So this is where our roster is at right now, give or take. Again, not sold on Jared Goff coming back next year, but the offense is in decent shape. We're still probably going to be a run-first team, but now we have some weapons. Oh, remind me to check on Dave Goodwich as well. That was a wide receiver that was blowing up the combine as well, because he could be someone I could see us adding. But I honestly think this draft needs to address defensive line, hopefully, and quarterback. We'll see. It'll be best player available for us, honestly. So yeah, that's all I really see us doing in terms of free agency, but we do get to do private workouts. And I think this one is bugged. So you have to pick 3 players from the same position in order to get all the information on them. Otherwise you'll get like one of the 3. So the question is, do we want to take a look at the middle linebackers here and finish off D'Angelo Carmichael? Or do we go cornerback and try and get more information on the likes of Andrew Wooden and Emmanuel Spriggs and Stephen Harrison? See, I'm tempted to do the latter just because I think there's more value. There's more depth here at cornerback. So that is definitely going to help our decision making when it comes to deciding who we can select. There's not a whole lot behind D'Angelo Carmichael in the middle linebacker class here. Excuse me. Alright, so with that in mind, I want Andrew Wooden, I want Emmanuel Spriggs, and I want to know more about there's another Alan Pounds was someone that I can't go in and show you his thing right now, but he had a lot of no, not Alan Pounds, sorry. There's a lot of cornerbacks here. You know, those are the players I want. I'm going to risk it and see if it'll work by adding D'Angelo Carmichael. We might only get one or two of these. Alright, so we're going to confirm these three. Wooden, Spriggs, and Carmichael, and see which one we get private workouts. This should give us a boost to their scouting score, and we will know more about them probably next week. So fingers crossed that works out in our favor here. Should probably save at some point too. We'll do that right before the draft. So we will advance the week, head on to Free Agency 4. We'll get the final mock draft and hopefully get more information on who is going on some of our top prospects here. Oh, and I wanted to look at Dave Goodwich as well. Don't let me forget that. Alrighty. Don't need to really do free agents. Well, let's take a look at free agency recap real quick, just for posterity's sake. Casey Hayward is still available. But league signings. Gronk goes to the Bengals. Yeah, we'll just go through this real quick. You can see some of the veterans that may have signed. Ronnie Harrison goes to the Bears. There's a big signing that they made. Go all the way down here for a bit. Thank you for your patience. Cap goes to the Dolphins. That'll be interesting. Da, da, da. There we go. This should be enough footage. Look at Dave Goodrich and who else? Maybe Desean Stevenson. Yeah, we can take a look at some of our other favorites that I did earlier. Mock draft number 5 looks something like this. Still going Andrew Wooden, number 1 overall. I don't necessarily disagree, but Mason Potter going number 7. Keeping an eye out for Bob Hairston here. Ed Mclean going at 27 is good news for us. Yeah, I'm not seeing Harrison in the first round here. I'm not, and there's a couple other quarterbacks that didn't make the cut either. So, do we cross our fingers? Oh, I suppose prospects. Let's see if it gave us the right. Hey, we got 100% on D'Angelo Carmichael. Looks like he is indeed a top 5 talent here. True talent. That's right. When you get to 100% on somebody. Desean Stevenson. Oh, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Cool. And his skills look like this. B in zone coverage. B in stamina. C in man coverage. Oh, the more I see, the more I like. That's a really solid player right there. And it's at a definite position of need for us. He's now ranked as one of the top fits for us. I wanted to take a look at cornerbacks too. Let's see if this worked. Nope, we didn't get any more information on Emmanuel Spriggs or Andrew Wooden. That's disappointing. But I do think, given the way free agency went out, given the way that fell, I do think D'Angelo Carmichael is one of our best options here. We need help at the middle linebacker position, and he can contribute in a lot of different areas. And I want to look at Desean Stevenson and the other guy. Desean Stevenson. How'd he do with his... Ran a 4.45. That's still pretty fast. Great speed. Elite change of direction. Dave Goodwich, thank you. Thank you so much, Burgos. Your support throughout this series and this channel has been very much appreciated. Here's Dave Goodrich. He's slipping down draft boards. Not sure why. Because he's still running a 4.31. He's top 5 in everything except for his 3-cone and his 20-yard shuttle. So his acceleration and his agility leave a little bit to be desired here. That's too bad for someone with such high speed. You can't just... I mean, not everyone can be Tyreek Hill, but we'll see how that goes. Defensive tackle. Yes. Devon Woodson is one of the people I have my eyes on for plugging the hole. Apparently the Browns are going to take him twice here. 40 bench reps. You'll love to see it. Elite speed and great strength. Ran a 4.78. Top 6 in everything. This is a good prospect right here. And Alex Collins is the other one I had a lot of interest in. .36 reps, which is still really good. Speed isn't quite there. Ran a almost 5-second 40. Did not improve very well. Did not improve at all from his combine. These numbers are more or less the same. Marginal increase, or marginal improvements, I should say, in his 3-cone and his 20-yard shuttle. Alright, so he might be more of a 3rd-round pick if he falls. I like Devon Woodson over Collins better at this point. Alright, I think that does it for players I wanted to take a look at here before we head on to the draft. So, let us save real quick before we... Well, let's advance. Let's save. Lines rebuild. Here we are. The Sims are from when I was trying to figure out if you could get fired through the scenario engine. It turns out yes, you can. So anytime I need to test something like the scenario engine, that's what I use the Sim 1 for. Because we don't want the main file to get irreparably changed. Because we want to see this go all the way through. Alrighty, let's advance the week to the draft. This is going to be exciting. I love the NFL draft. It is easily my favorite part of the off-season. And that's saying a lot because I love the off-season in general. Alright. Let's start the NFL draft, everybody. Oh wait, do we want to spend some of these staff points? I don't want to like fleece the AI too badly, but there are a couple ones here that really help with trading for picks. Is it personnel? Yes, trades. Get discount on CPU draft picks or an increase in value for ours. Oops. These are all very expensive, so we're only going to get... I think it'd be worth it to do one level in each of these, maybe. Let's do that. A 2% discount for their picks and 2% increase for ours. Alright, we got 20 picks left. Alright. We'll hold on to the rest of these. Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Let's head on to the NFL draft as I back out of this menu. There we go. It's time to add some players to our roster. Some rookies. Start draft. Alrighty. And we're going to pause immediately, because we have the #1 overall pick. And just given the mock drafts, D'Angelo Carmichael is projected to go at #6 overall. I wonder if we can trade down a little bit. This is what started our New York Jets dynasty as well. And I'm looking for something. Buffalo's is good, but not good enough. I'd love to pick up we don't have a 4th round pick. Where can I show the picks we currently do have? That'd be in our roster. Yes, this is important to see before we get going into the draft as well, is the picks that we currently do have. Because it's not as simple as it might look. We've got our #1 overall pick. This is our teams. We've got round 1 pick 16 in the Matthew Stafford trade, and a couple of pick 1 in the 2nd round. In the 3rd round, there's no 4th round pick, and then a 5th that is ours, a 6th that is ours, and a 7th that is not. So if we can add some ammunition here, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round, then that will give us more options to move around in this draft, more flexibility. So let's see what trades we have offered for us here. He said no to Chicago's, no to Buffalo's. Oh, that's close to what I'm looking for. We'll say maybe on Buffalo's. Cleveland, too far back. Las Vegas is too far back. New England, New York wants to move up, and they're going to give us a 2nd round pick to do it. The other New York team wants to move up, and they'll give us a 3rd round pick to do it. Philadelphia wants to move up, and they'll give us a 3rd round pick to do it. Wow. There's some options right there. Do we drop down 2? Because I don't know what New York wants. I like Philadelphia's package better. Oh, man. But I mean, I should say I like New York's package better because it gives us a slightly better pick in the 3rd round, which is always super helpful. Where Philadelphia's is nicer, I think is more consistent because we know they want Landry Jackson. I can't remember who New York wants to sign, because if they take Jackson, then Philadelphia might mess things up for us. What do you think, Big Rose? I forget who the New York probably wants a quarterback. I'll wait for this to come through. This is where decisions are made. We can always take this selection and see what happens. Yeah? Having another 3rd round pick is super nice. This would have been a nice selection as well, but I don't want to drop out of the D'Angelo Carmichael range. Decisions. I was in this exact same spot with the Jets franchise as well, where we were offered 3 first-round picks for the rights to Mass Johnson, who ended up on our team anyway after a couple of seasons. If you think Giants take your QB, go Eagles. Otherwise, Giants for sure. Yeah, I don't think so. There's a couple of quarterbacks, Steve Knowles and Mason Potter, that are higher rated than Harrison for sure. He's not going to go. He shouldn't go number 1 overall here. Like, he's good, but he's not that good. So I'm going to go with the pick here. That's a nice little tweak. And C. Yep. Alright, let's see who the Giants take with the number 1 overall pick. They take Landry Jackson! Wow! What do the Eagles do now? Whoa! Landry Jackson, left tackle, West Virginia, goes number 1 overall to the Giants, who have another first-round pick coming up. What do the Eagles do now? They take Stephen Knowles. Wow. I'm absolutely floored. Let's see if anyone else wants to deal. That's not Pittsburgh. No, to Chicago. Houston wants to move up 1 pick, and they're going to give up a future 3rd for it. That's not fair to the AI. They must be really nervous. Cleveland desperately wants to move up. They're not getting it. They're going to pick 9, 16. Future 4 Eagles are going to give up a king's ransom to move back into the top 3 here. Nope. Let's make it official. Let's bring in D'Angelo Carmichael. I think he is the safest pick here. Top 5 talents, position of need. Oh, here's our picks. Take a look at this. We'll have back-to-back picks in the 3rd round. That's nice. After that selection, but D'Angelo Carmichael, everybody, is going to be our newest Detroit Lion. Let's bring him in. Hidden development, 88 speed, 87 acceleration, 79 strength, 75 change of direction. We do know all of these attributes because we scouted him 100%. We don't know what his overall is, but that's a big pick right there. Alrighty, now we get to keep an eye on the quarterback gymnastics. There are still several quarterbacks that are likely to go before Bob Hairston. Mason Potter is probably the next one off of the board, but I'm definitely wanting to keep an eye on Hairston. Let's see how that goes. Alrighty. I still can't believe that the Giants selected Landry Jackson. Alrighty, let's skip ahead. Let's see who Houston takes. Javonte Meadows out of Tennessee. The Bills with the number 5 overall pick take Denario Springs, left outside linebacker. Interesting to see what the Steelers do. Do they take a quarterback after the retirement of Big Ben Roethlisberger? Mason Potter. Oh boy, now I'm getting nervous, because Potter was mocked to go to the Jets. Who are they going to take? Zeke Harper, wide receiver out of USC. That's a really good pick. That's a really good pick. Just in terms of it fits a position of need, and they're not reaching for a quarterback that they don't need. Good job, Madden. The Bengals. Right after right after I congratulate the AI for drafting smart, they go and take Ed Mclean, quarterback out of UCF, on a team that has Joe Burrow at like 85 overall. I jinxed it, didn't I? Alright, now we really got to keep an eye on the quarterback situation here. If one more gets picked, I'm going to move to take Bob Harrison. What about the Raiders? So with Ed Mclean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit him to a position of need at the same overall as whatever he ends up being, and put Ed Mclean back in next year's draft class, because the Bengals do not need a first-round quarterback. So, moving on. Felix Baskerville goes to the Raiders out of Texas A&M. That's a good selection. I had some interest in him earlier on in the season, and he certainly fits the old mold of speedy wide receiver. The Chargers take Kurt Higgins out of Texas A&M, looking to protect the investment they made in Justin Herbert. The Broncos take a quarterback at number 11. They go Rodney McCullough to replace Von Miller. That's a good pick there. What about the Giants? Do they take a swing for a quarterback here? They go Vernon Holloway. Interesting. So the Daniel Jones experiment will continue. There's still been no cornerbacks selected. So the Vikings are up next. Kirk Cousins is getting older. And they take Stephen Harrison. So first round cornerback, Mike Zimmer. I'm not going to jinx it. But good job, Madden. The football team, established in 1932. Take Brenton Gillisley. And now the Eagles, who've already selected a quarterback, I think, are up next. Man, this is tense. And they take Clint Johnson out of Clemson. So now we have an option. We always want to do our due diligence and take a look at the trades that are being offered. Cleveland wants to move a couple slots, and they are willing to give up a lot to do it. Another third round pick and a fifth to move up 2 spots in the draft. That's almost a slam dunk. If it wasn't for the Atlanta Falcons, who probably need a quarterback. Atlanta indeed wants to move up, and they're willing to offer a lot to do it. What do they need? Let's go take a look at Atlanta's roster and see if quarterback is a position of need. Because here is the current draft board right now. I think there are 3 quarterbacks, Max Hoodling, Nathan Davis, and Devon Williams, that are ahead of Harrison on my board. That being said, if we go actually try and trade with the Falcons, what does their team need look like? Manual trade. Falcons. Love the text back. Halfback, defensive tackle, left outside linebacker. Where's Matt Ryan at this stage in his career? 76 overall. Alright. I feel a little bit more comfortable moving back. Sorry, 3 picks. It's just a risk we're going to have to take, I think. Cleveland is giving up a lot of ammunition to move up 3 picks. A first rounder, a third rounder later on, and a 5th rounder, which would give us more value. However, Atlanta wants to do a similar thing. Moving up just one selection, they'll get a fourth rounder to do it. I'm actually going to go with Atlanta's trade here. Oofta. Let's hope we don't regret that. They take Rashad Cooks. Alright, so. Man, I can't wait on this any longer. Let's bring Bob Hairston in. I'm tired of sweating through this time. We did plenty of moving. We added a 4th round pick and another 4th round pick next year. We traded back a couple of times. It's time to bring in Bob Hairston. Bucks, Saints, and Texans. Nope. Normal development. 92 throw power, 88 acceleration, 88 speed, 87 change of direction. Well, not elite, but he can grow. He can certainly grow. So now we're going to hold off and see what happens in the rest of the first round here. Maybe Andrew Wooden will fall into the second round. That'd be nice. Ezekiel Baldwin of LSU. A.J. Lamb. Ooh. Do we want to trade back into the first and select Andrew Wooden? Would that even be fair to the computers? 3 first-round picks in this offseason. Let's refresh the chat, because sometimes I'm not getting stuff. I'm very tempted to trade up. I wonder what it would take. Not sure why there isn't a trade for current pick button, but okay. Manual trade. Jets. Well, let's see what their positions of need are. Quarterback, right tackle, right guard. I wonder if let's take a quarterback here. I like Andrew Wooden. I think we can. They take Max Hoodling out of Notre Dame. Alrighty, keep going. I believe Andrew Wooden is the next corner off the board, though, in many draft boards. Yep. Alright, I would like to trade for him. I don't want to sit and wait all the way to the beginning of the second round. So let's trade. It makes sense. Trades can really do a lot to make things work. Yeah. Just, I don't have a whole lot of... If this is a real life thing, I would absolutely make these kinds of moves. But I don't trust the AI. Who's on the board right now? The Saints, right? Huh. Quarterback, left tackle, free safety. We should really figure out who is up. I just don't trust the AI to be doing smart things. Let's see who they pick. They go Nathan Davis, quarterback out of Florida. Alright. Yeah. I keep saying I'm going to trade back up, and then I go back and I skip another team or two. Panthers. All the way down here. Center, quarterback, left tackle. You know what? Let's see what they want for their number one, or for their pick here. I will offer this gives a lot of flexibility right here, but third round pick and future fourth. This should not work. This should not work. Yeah. We are trying to get into the first round. What do we have for trade chips on this team? Not much. Trey Flowers. Jared Goff. There's no way. I'm not trading Jared Goff. I can't. Just because there's no way they would take on this kind of contract. Yeah, I don't think we can make this work. Not for the price I'm willing to pay, which is nothing. Let's just keep going and see what happens. Darren Brown. There goes Andrew Wooden. Man. Alright, that's okay. There is going to be value at the top of the second round for us. I am certain of it. I can't trade Goff. Not with a $30 million cap hit. Titans. Brandon Matlock, right tackle. Eagles with another first round pick. Connor Barkley, some cornerbacks going off the board. What do the Patriots do? Amir Clay getting weapons for Mac Jones. Bucks. He has made a Super Bowl. They go to Devon Williams. Oh man, look at, we're up in just a few more picks here. Sean Claxton, more corners going off the board here. Does Green Bay pick a quarterback? They go Andrew Edwards out of Minnesota. Chiefs. Ricky Shepard, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Super Bowl runners up take James Hughes. And the Ravens take John Andrews. Alright, now let's take a look at more offers because we're finally on the clock again. Yes, they do need a quarterback, but they swung and missed on Sam Darnold. They're not going to... No, not with the amount of cap space they have. Buffalo wants to move up. Cleveland wants to move up. Vikings offer a future first. That's generous of them. But I'm not trading out of the second round here. Nope. Pick 39. For another fourth round pick. 23, 23, 23, 22. Yep, nope. Let's take a look at who's available, because I think we can do a lot by standing pat here. We didn't quite get the cornerback I was hoping to select, which is unfortunate. But we can also make up for that by... Oh, Tracy Shepard was taken. Oh, no. There's players like Garrison Douglas. Solid speed. Haven't really taken a look at him too much. Man, I think Andrew Wooden would have been a good possibility, but I also don't think that Harrison would have been on the board. Matt Dunn, Johnny Fowler. Devon Woodson's still here. Dave Goodwich is still here. That is Melvin Goodwich. Is there any relation? Why is he falling down draft boards? 21 years old. 8 block shedding. B power moves. Good. Decent strength. Good speed. Elite acceleration. I'm looking at defensive line for this pick probably. Trying to figure out who the best player available is. Emmanuel Spriggs is still up. Good speed. Yeah, Alex Collins isn't going to go this soon, so we're looking at someone probably like Devon Woodson. We go wide receiver, Tracy Shepard. B catching, B deep route. You ran a 4.42. Not really blowing me away, but... Oh, bad short. He's a deep threat. I mean, we can always use one of those, but... Nelson Dunn, 6'3", 206. D, catching traffic. C, catching. B, release. Yep. Nope. Not interested there. I think someone like Devon Woodson is a better selection. Alrighty. Elite speed, great strength, top 6 in everything. I think he could switch to a defensive end. Don't know much about his pass rushing skills, but I like what I see from his physicals here. That's a combination of speed and strength that's hard to come by, and I think would serve us pretty well. I kind of want to take him here. I think the other option right now, there's a couple other good defensive tackles here. Dave Goodwich is another option. He's probably the best wide receiver left. And that would be giving Harrison some more weapons. But I think we need to invest in our defense here. Hey, we're up to 2 viewers. If you are just joining us, welcome. We are midway through a very eventful off-season. And we're in the middle of the draft right now. It's round 2, pick 1. And we are on the clock here trying to figure out who the best selection would be for the first pick in the second round. Boy, I like Melvin Goodrich though too. Not quite as good of an athlete as someone like Devon Woodson is, but the intangibles are there. Block shedding and power moves are both very good. Good impact block and good awareness as well. Boy, he's getting flagged. They're both good. Hey, welcome, Ron Parker. Make any trades in the draft? Yes. We did move back. We had the number 1 overall pick. Moved back a couple of times and was able to pick up some more draft capital here. Here's a look at the picks that we currently have in the remainder of this draft. I should show you our current team as well. What have you got so far? We selected a middle linebacker with the number 3 overall pick, and we picked a quarterback as well. So looking probably at upgrading our defense right now, particularly the defensive front, as the cornerback I was targeting was unfortunately taken before we selected again. This is not updated to include the quarterback or the middle linebacker we selected, but our defense definitely needs a lot of help, as our defensive line and our interior is looking pretty rough. So trying to add some more youth and potential up front to try and take some pressure off of our young secondary. These are great questions. Thank you so much for joining, Ron. Great to see you here. Not interested in trading away the picks. We've already ruled that one out, so we're just kind of looking through here. Also, the chat is on a little bit of a delay. I will do my best to keep an eye on it, but soon you can get comments in, the better. Definitely. So Garrison Douglas is an option if we want to go cornerback here, but he's not very good at press coverage, and he didn't really wow with his measurables here. Let's see. Any other spots? Sure, there's not another cornerback available that could help. Yes, but not necessarily at this position, or at this point in the draft. I'll move over the cornerback selection here. Emmanuel Spriggs, actually, these are great questions to ask. Emmanuel Spriggs is probably my second favorite corner. Second, third round grade on him. Good question. Yeah, delay seems like 30 seconds. That's what I've heard. I'll try and keep the chat refreshed here as well. I can do that manually on my side. I wonder. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's the toolboard. I'm learning how to stream still. I can't figure out how to do this easily. Let's stay there. Okay. Emmanuel Spriggs ran a 4.51. He's a good press cornerback. Not the fastest. but he's got really good agility and change of direction. Makes up for with a good first step. So I consider Emmanuel Spriggs at this point. Later on in the draft, there's players like, I didn't really highlight him earlier, but Alan Pounds is one of my favorite value picks. 23 years old, doesn't have great speed, and he's not an excellent athlete, but he's got good press coverage, good catching, and decent man coverage for a rookie as well. So he might be someone to take a look at with our third round pick here. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Ron. Good to see you. So that has me looking at, there's decent depth. There's a lot of cornerback depth in this class, which has me looking more at like the defensive tackle area to try and help with our interior defensive line. I think the quality of defensive tackles falls off a lot quicker than it does in the cornerback area. So I've been looking at Devon Woodson. I have interest in Alex Collins as well, but he's more of a pure pass rusher. And he's further down the board, so I'm not feeling super antsy to go pick him up right now. I do think, let's go to my draft board. They did mess with how the draft board works. Favorites. Emmanuel Spriggs is up there, definitely. That actually might not be a bad pick, although I think our pass rush and our run defense can both be improved with an interior defensive lineman here. That's why I'm going for, I'm looking at that. Garrison Douglas slipped out of the first round. Solid speed. This is a hard pick to make. I think I'm going to go Devon Woodson, but the temptation is there to like splurge on some of these skill positions, and I think we just need somebody who's going to be able to step in and play in a lot of different areas. The knock on Devon Woodson is we don't know how good of a pass rusher he is, and he's only got C in block shedding. But when you turn a pro day like this, where you're 40 reps and run a 4.78 as a defensive tackle, you're also 23 years old. This is the tape that we have on him. I'm kind of tempted to pick him up and see where he'll fit in our defensive line. Probably as an end. Let's refresh chat one more time, see if there's any other input. Because the other option here, where did he go? Cornerback. Emmanuel Spriggs, Garrison Douglas. This is sorted by where I rank them. Melvin Goodwich. We know more about him. He's not quite as good of an athlete, however. He's got A block shedding and B power moves. This is a harder pick to make than I thought it was going to be. I think I'm going to go Devon Woodson, if only because he's got the physical tools and you can't teach those. We can develop him further, but the physical tools are just, innate talent and stuff. So I'm going to bring in Devon Woodson with our first round pick. And he's got hidden developments. That will help. 92 strength, 79 speed, and 79 acceleration. That will help a lot. Thank you so much for the input on that. It's always helpful to have people to bounce stuff off of and raise suggestions. Goodness knows I miss stuff. So Devon Woodson is next. I'll keep an eye on the cornerback situation as well, because we've got a pair of back-to-back picks coming up at the top of the third round. DJ Andrews goes to the Dolphins. Arthur Leach to the Giants. Ryan Cannon to the Texans. Eric Estes as they continue to invest in their defensive line. Tracy Shepard to Pittsburgh. Jets take Matt Dunn. There's a good pick. He's a top safety on the board. Bengals take Jelani Fowler. Colin Whitfield. No corners taken just yet. Nelson Dunn. Da Bears. Take Dave. Oh, we have to face Dave Goodwich. I think he's going to be a special player. Vikings picking right after. Go Melvin Goodwich. Alright, so two players I had some interest in going to our division rivals here. We'll see them twice a year. That's exciting. You'll love to see players of those caliber join teams you're going to play, because then you can just see a lot more of them in the season and get an update with how their career is going, and that's always a good time. Nathan Roberts goes to the Eagles to replace Jason Kelsey. That's a great pick. That's a really good pick. Earl Parker to the Rams. Emmanuel Spriggs goes to the Falcons. Alright, so there's one of the cornerbacks I had my eye on. Steven Sherwood, tight end off the board. The Browns, Tyreek Harvin. Get up there, we're at pick 20. Zeke Wooden goes to the Seahawks. He reminds me a lot of Richard Sherman, like zone cover cornerback. Darius Neal. Alex Collins goes to the Jets. He was the other guy I was really kind of hoping would fall to the third round, just because of his pass rushing ability. But let's skip ahead in the draft a little bit more. Probably not going to be making too many trades here for the rest of the draft. Garrison Douglas. More cornerbacks are going off the board here. I don't know if that's a position that we will be able to address here in the draft. And that's okay. I think by making the rest of the defense better. Like we got the two. Oh, Green Bay has got a new quarterback. Aaron Rodgers retired. So Brian Bacon, which has to be one of the best names in this draft, is going to the Green Bay Packers. Alrighty, just a couple of picks left before we have back-to-back selections. Alright, Mike House. Okie dokie, let's take a look at who is still available. We've taken a middle linebacker, a quarterback, and a defensive tackle thus far. What about my favorites? Who's available? Not really looking for a wide receiver, and there's no value there. Defensive end. Also not seeing a whole lot. Defensive tackle. And cornerback. Greg Blanton. Yeah, there's not a lot here right now. What about safety? Just want to make sure we're taking a look at all these. Not a lot has fallen out into the third round here. Greg Blanton is one of the few prize making with a good D-line. Very good. Blanton, C-man coverage, C-press, D-catching. We're not going to see a lot of great players at this point in the draft. Does have great speed. There are other options here. Alan Pounds. I kind of like Alan Pounds. He's not very fast. He's got solid speed. Like the knock on him is that he's not a great athlete. He's got B press coverage. He's got B catching, and he's got C and man coverage. I think he's the best cornerback that's still available. Oh, nice one. After that, there's not a whole lot left. I certainly like Alan Pounds better than Greg Blanton. What about Sean Francois? 21-year-old. Good speed. Ran a 4.37. Here's an athlete. Look at that. First in everything except for bench reps when he was 6th. D in zone coverage, but how do you only have good speed when you ran a 4.37? Alright, I could see a couple of different options here. I think Francois is the better athlete and Alan Pounds is the better cover guy. Sir Aussie, Lance can at least win this series. Haven't actually gotten rid of Goff just yet. He's gonna, with us bringing in a rookie quarterback, it's only a matter of time. But part of the reason I held on to him was his cap penalty is a lot less if we wait to release him. So he's on his way out the door. I subbed him in for David Blau a little bit, or David Blau in for Jared Goff, and Blau at like 57 overall outplayed what I was able to do with Jared Goff. So some of that's on me as a quarterback, but Francois a must. This is the Combine God. You are correct. And we've got back-to-back picks here. Speaking of Combine Gods, I think you're really going to love this because this is probably going to be our next pick. Dexter Allen. Day 3 grade on him. Look at this Combine. Top 2 in everything. Yep, that's a very good point about Sean Francois. All right. So, and I don't know. Given how many, I wouldn't say we're missing, but I kind of want to take Dexter Allen to start the 3rd round off. I don't want to take a chance that he's going to be taken because you don't see those kinds of players. Alrighty, Sean Francois, 3rd to 4th round corner. He is 21 years old, out of Wisconsin. Combine God, let's bring him in. Our first 3rd round pick, normal development, but you are correct. Look at those physicals. 92 speed, 90 change of direction, 91 agility, 92 agility, 91 strength, 92 jumping on a 6'2" package. We can work with that. Alright, and then our next pick I think needs to be Dexter Allen because we need a lot to be excited about in this universe. It might be a little bit early to pick him, especially because we don't pick again until the middle of the 4th round. We have that option available, and he's a day 3 guy. But given what is currently out there, not seeing anyone that's really been popping off the board in the way that Dexter Allen has. Yep. No, Hawkinson's still here, but I plan lots of 2 tight end sets because you don't get players like Dexter Allen and TJ Hawkinson on the same team. That's just not fair. So I'm super excited for Dexter Allen here. 86 speed, decent strength as well. He is 23 years old, but we got some combine warriors in this draft class. And I'm excited to see what his full skills look like as well. He's got a short route, which is good news for us. No idea how he can catch, but he's a decent blocker. Thank you both for spending some of your Saturday. Let's continue the draft. We don't pick till the middle of the 4th round, but it's been a very successful draft for us, and we can just focus on picking the best player available from here on out. There goes Jacob Graves to go back up Josh Allen in Buffalo. The Jets have had a good draft. Go left tackle. Eduardo Batista. That was the guy I was probably going to take with our 4th round pick if he'd fallen. Just because he can play all 3 positions. Charleston Leonard, another good center. Charles Whitaker. So now we're kind of freed up to take a look at the best player available at any given point. We obviously still have holes on this team. It'll be a while before we can field a completely competitive roster. I'd still like to add some more pass rush, but I don't know what that's going to be, what kind of options we'll have in the middle of the 4th round. So that might be Desean Stevenson, who's kind of a fun player as well. We'll see if he's still there in the middle of the 4th round. There goes Pat Biddle. Got Garrison. Moving through the draft here. Dante Allen. Yeah, thank you both so much for stopping by. I do really appreciate it. It's been a fun off-season. Lots has happened. We got stood up with a couple of signings in free agency that really set the tone for the draft. And we're coming closer to the end of a long off-season. Wow, this is going on 3 hours. They did cram a whole lot into the off-season here. Adding the mock drafts, and it's harder to navigate around a little bit now. Instead of getting like a combine grade and easily being able to see everybody's combine numbers, you have to go just one at a time and open up, which on old gen just takes a while. There goes Allen Pounds to the Bills. More cornerbacks are being selected. We're coming up here. We're in the 4th round. I don't know who's going to be available. I don't often look out this far in terms of my draft strategy, because by the 4th round, you're trying to pick the best player available. Malachi Watford goes to the Vikings. See, Dexter Allen will probably still be here at this point, but didn't want to risk it because you don't see those players fall very often. Alright, let's see who is available still. Lonnie Felton. I don't want to double up on corners here, especially because we've got 3 young corners on the team. Oh, poor speed. Yeah, no thanks. Let's see what's on my favorites list. This is in no particular order. We're into the day 3. Potential undrafted. Yeah, I think Desean Stevenson is the best pick here. DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams have actually been a really solid 1-2 punch for us this season, but we saw when Swift went down that we weren't able to get somebody like Williams out of the backfield very easily. Yeah, the next time Brady. Yeah, but that's the 6th round. We're in the 4th round, man. We got a ways to go. So someone like Desean Stevenson might be an interesting role player for us. He's got a short route. Appears to have a receiving back skill set, which is exactly what this roster needs. Even though he's got a day 3 projection, he's one of my favorite players that still remains on my board. So let's bring him in. 5'5", 181, 22 years old, 93 speed, 96 change of direction, 89 acceleration, and 90 agility. Looking forward to seeing what all he can do as well as we continue heading through the draft. Just a few picks left for us, so I will just keep going, trying not to accidentally click the wrong thing and skip ahead to our pick. I don't really have my heart set on any of the remaining players, so it's just going to be about seeing who all is there. It's been a good offseason for us. We brought in Christian Kirk to help our beleaguered wide receiver core, so that's helpful. Other big free agent signings. Trying to think. That was our big one. We missed out on Chris Barnes. Baltimore with back-to-back picks, and we're up next. Wyatt Matthews. Alright, let's see who's available in the 5th round here. Lonnie Felton's still there. I haven't looked at a lot of these defensive tackles. We don't know too much about them. This is where I wish it was easier to take a look at the players. Like you could either scroll down in this screen rather than backing out and going back in. Damon Hartwell. Nope. Cox. What about James Winter? Oh. Not bad. Great speed, solid strength. Good hit power, or decent hit power, decent tackling, decent man coverage. And it's at a position of need for us. Like we let Dean Marlowe go in free agency. Alright, there's one. James Winter is an option. Antoine Patton's on my list. Why do I like him? The strongest end, apparently. Number 1 in... Okay. B power moves. That give us some more pass rush. And he's pretty strong, too, so we know he can play inside. How old is he? 22, 6'5", 287. Alright, we got a couple options here. Between James Winter, the free safety, and Antoine Patton. Alright, we're in the day 3 picks here. Here's my draft board, in no particular order. Chris Murphy. Why do I like him? Oh, he's an edge rusher. What do you guys think? Do we go back to our defensive line, or do we invest in a safety here? Antoine Patton. How about Damon Calloway? C block shedding. He is... Oh, marginal speed. Solid strength. Nope. Again, this is the 5th round, so we're not going to find the next... We're probably not going to find the next... Here, James Winter. Tyrell Williams is actually one of my favorite remaining players. Oh, Kalen White. This offseason is taking a long time. 4, 5, 6. Kalen White might be worth a look and turning him into a safety. Who starting at this time? I've got Will Harris, who had a breakout season for us, opposite Tracy Walker, who we brought back. They're both like 76 overall, so fringe starters at this point. But I kind of like Antoine Patton at this point. James Winter is also... Well, Antoine Patton's a day 3 pick. James Winter, I like his skill set. Less depth. I think Winter might see the field a little bit more often. And when it comes to safety prospects, he's certainly the better... I think he's a better player at this point. So I'm going to go with James Winter here in the 5th round. Normal development, 91 speed. Not bad. He can certainly roam the field, and he's got good size. So we'll look at adding another defensive lineman with our 6th round pick. See who's available then. Thanks for the input. I really appreciate it. Now there's a guy. There goes Antoine Patton. Man, the Jets have been taking everybody I want. That's okay. There's still another couple players that I think are going to be solid picks, even in the 6th round. Jets have had a good offseason based off of their draft. They avoided the temptation to replace Zach Wilson, thanks to Madden being Madden. And actually made some shrewd moves after the draft board did not go in their favor early on. I do kind of miss that it showed you their overall and everything about them right as you pick them. Because it's not like it's holding anything back, because you can view that just in a later screen. But it's kind of fun to be able to look at everything right when you do select somebody. We're getting there. Thank you all for your patience. What an off-season this has been. I'm super excited for this team going forward. There goes Peyton Russell. No relation to Peyton Manning. Lonnie Felton finally is taken. He had like a 2nd round grade on him. Packers take Darrell Cox. Ryan Westbrook. We're nearly there. One more pick. Alright. Let's see who is available. There's a couple I had my eye on. Only a couple people with 3rd round grades on them. One of my favorites. I like Lucas Perez. Some of these I added a long time ago and I just can't remember why. Decent power moves. Nothing to write home about here. Jeremy Wilkins. What about him? Solid speed, solid strength. Interesting. Let's see. Tyrell Williams is one of my favorite remaining players. What about Kalen White? He's 6'3", 209. Good catching, decent man coverage, marginal speed though. That was right. This is the one I wanted to move to safety. Kai Wilkinson. 23 years old. Kind of want to go back to defensive line here. Where is... He's here somewhere. Tyrell Williams. He is projected UDFA. He's 22 years old. Here's another combine warrior. 38 reps, 4.89, 40. His agility is poor, but he's got good acceleration and great strength. Good block shedding, decent power moves, decent impact blocking, and excellent stamina. Let's make it happen. Tyrell Williams, welcome to the Detroit Lions. 90 strength, 74 speed. That's 50 agility for you, but we'll go from there. One more pick, and then this should be over. It's not till the middle. Let's just advance to our next user pick. We're not planning on wheeling and dealing, and we can review all these picks later on in the draft screen. This has taken a while. I'm tired, so we can just head to the middle of the 7th round and make our final selection in this draft. Alright. See who is still available. We brought back Jason Kabinda, which is fun. Guy Wilkinson is still here. Para? Another pretty solid athlete here. Not good pass rushing moves. That gave us a lot more options at defensive end. Kai Wilkinson. A little bit stronger, not quite as fast. Why did I have Kyle McPhee on my board? He's an A in kick return. Okay. That can be addressed elsewhere. We're going to need to bring in another couple wide receivers anyway. Not super excited. Earl Dixon. Let's say no. I think he might be available later on. So Lucas Para out of Clemson. We'll see what he can do. He's 22 years old. Average power moves. Pretty good athlete across the board. He's a little bit faster. So I'm going to select him. 82 speed, 78 strength, 83 acceleration, 84 agility. That will do it for the draft. For us, at least. And I'm just going to finish the rest of these picks. We'll see who Mr. Actually, we're not going to be able to see who Mr. Relevant is at this screen. So let's head to the end of the draft. Wow. What an off-season this has been. I'm excited for Season 2. So the recap, we'll just go through every single team real quick. Probably starting with ours, as would make sense, and going from there. Here's our draft. Wow, look at these overalls. D'Angelo Carmichael was picked number 3. He's 79 overall, including a +1 bump. He's got the speed to make plays all over the field. Zone coverage can be increased. Man coverage needs to be increased. He's got the coverage linebacker style, which might actually help him out a little bit. Nice. We'll figure out numbers as we go along. We took Bob Hairston in the first round as well. And he's going to wear number 6. We'll figure out numbers later on. Like I said, 21 years old out of Florida. Normal development. Better accuracy than I was thinking he was going to have. So it'll be a little bit inaccurate. But pretty good throw on the run. And plenty of room for growth here. 88 speed is going to help a lot. We'll have to keep an eye on that 60 carrying. His 87 injury might be a problem, but he's going to be on the field if he can. 98 stamina. This is good news for us. Yeah, I got lucky with the way the picks fell. Devon Woodson is 76 overall. Of course, I have to thank you guys for both giving advice and being present. That was so cool. 23 years old. He's got hidden developments. Wow. Here's a player that I think can be super special. Work is block shying up a little bit, but 82 power moves, 77 finesse moves, 79 speed. I'm liking that. Sean Francois is 70 overall. His morale is -1 for whatever reason. Needs some work in the coverage department, but he's got potential. I wonder how Andrew Wooden fared. I kind of wish. That's the one thing I would like to have back was drafting Andrew Wooden. Dexter Allen is 75 overall. 86 speed, 77 catching. I don't know why his morale is the way it is right now. Maybe because he got drafted to Detroit. No offense, Detroit. This is a good time to be drafted to the Detroit Lions. We're turning things around here in Michigan. Desean Stevenson is 72 overall. He's also getting a morale penalty here. 93 speed. Carrying is not that good. Look at this. 78 catching on a good day. 78 short route, 74 medium route, and good spectacular catch as well. I cannot wait to see what he can do out of the backfield for us. James Winter in the 5th round. I know. I mean, they're both in the 3rd round, I think, but here's James Winter. Good speed. He'll need some work, but I think he can step in and play. Certainly an upgrade over some of the veterans we had on the way out the door. Here's Tyrell Williams, who's actually getting a morale or a boost as well. He might find his way onto the field here. 90 strength, decent block shedding and power moves. Okay speed. Good stuff. And then finally Lucas Para. Lucas Para, I think is how I'm going to pronounce it. Alrighty. So, I mean, he's a 7th round pick. We'll see. He'll see the field in some sub packages and stuff. He's got good speed. And the power move can get increased here. So, we'll go from there. Good draft. Not excited to be drafted to Detroit. Oh, blame the poor man. Turn this around quickly. Maybe Carmichael. Yeah, that can be in real life. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm really pulling for Detroit. Like, I'm a Vikings fan myself, but you know, I want to see Detroit do well. Let's see how some of the other teams did around the league. Packers go Andrew Edwards, pick 29. They got a couple of good young DBs here, it looks like. They went a cornerback out of Minnesota. He's pretty solid. 90 speed was more than I thought he was going to get. Not bad numbers there. Their other good pick looked like Emmett Hendricks. 74 overall. 6'3", 210. Good speed, very much a run support guy, but good coverage ability, or at least potential for coverage ability as well. Of course, this draft class will be defined by the selection of Brian Bacon, who will not wear number 12 for the Packers. Wow. Let's change that right now. Oh my goodness. Madden. He'll wear number 2. I won't make him do number 13 because he's following number 12. Rogers retired, so he'll no longer torment us. Hey, we're up to 3 viewers. If you are just joining us, welcome, welcome. We just finished the NFL draft, and I think it was a very successful one for us. We're just taking a look at some other picks around the league. And with Aaron Rodgers retiring, the Green Bay Packers spent a second round pick on Brian Bacon, who has pretty good numbers across the board. He's got a cannon on that arm, but he probably could have used a year or 2 to develop. He's only got 57 awareness, and his accuracy numbers aren't great. So we'll see how he does quarterbacking this Green Bay team. I think he's in line to start. Now that's just about it for Green Bay. There's some good players. Panthers had a solid, if unspectacular, draft class here. They took Darren Brown out of Wisconsin, 21-year-old left tackle. He'll be really good. He'll be good for the Panthers. They took John Garrison and Dom Hendricks as well. Whoa, hold on. 91 speed for John Garrison. This man's 6'3", 228. This is a good pick. 91 speed. Decent hit power, decent awareness. Nice. Good selection. especially for a team without a second round pick. Couple of 70 overalls here for the Patriots. Amir Clay was their first round pick, following on the selection of N'Keal Harry. Looks to be more or less in the same, from the same tree here, but really good short route running here for Clay. And good jumping as well. He's going to be a contested catch beast. They also took Sean Middleton out of Ohio State. That would have been a good selection for us too. I don't know why I wasn't really looking there. We still have Trey Flowers and Romeo Okwara on this team, so I think we'll be okay. Raiders had a really good draft here too. Felix Baskerville. This is going to take a while. We'll get through all of these. You don't have to hang around if you don't want to. 94 spectacular catch. That's so cool. I didn't know Madden did stuff like this. You never see these kind of skill contours in previous games. The last one I played was Madden 20. And like a spectacular catch is like 83 in that game. 94. That's awesome. You love to see it. They also invested in their offensive line. Colin Whitfield. Some really good drafts here by the computer. Like, yeah, I think we did great. But look at some of these draft classes. And this is a Madden generated one too, which is great. Charleston Leonard was a really solid pick. Yeah. St. Louis did not have a first round pick. They took Earl Parker, who's another fast middle linebacker with 90 speed. Super Bowl winning Ravens had a really solid draft class as well. John Andrews I had interest in. 83 power moves. Just didn't have the strength I was looking for our 3-4 scheme. Wow. They also took Mike House out of LSU. Good speed, decent coverage ability, more of a man-to-man guy. Wow. This is fun. Nathan Davis was picked after, replacing Drew Brees and now Jameis Winston. 94 throw power. Now, this is a nice pick by the Saints. I think he's got the opportunity to grow into a pretty special player. The awareness isn't quite there, but he can do it all. Good pick. Took Darius Neal as well. I gotta hurry up and get through these so we can actually... Zeke Wooden. Sorry. Hidden development. And a man cover guy. I was wrong. I thought he was a zone cover specialist. He'll be a good player in a couple of years. I need to hurry up and get through these. Steelers took Mason Potter. They had a really solid draft class. 370 overalls. Hidden development for Potter to replace Ben Roethlisberger. So it turns out he actually still had pretty good throw power. I'll have to keep that in mind. 89 throw power is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. He had good accuracy across the board. Good throw on the run. Good throw under pressure. And they went out and got him Tracy Shepard as well. Another hidden dev player. It's going to be a good offense. Route running isn't there, but the hands sure are. Mario Blackwell. Texans. Whoa, there's some good picks here. Javonte Meadows was their first normal development. More of a pure pass rusher than anything. Doesn't even seem to quite do that well, but they paired him up with Brian Cannon. 77 overall. That's a good player right there. That's a really good player right there. Titans, we'll get to the Vikings here in just a minute. Nothing to write home about. Vikings they had a good draft as well. Look at this. Steven Harrison, first round cornerback for the Vikings. 93 speed. Decent zone coverage, decent press coverage, man coverage needs some work. They also took Melvin Goodwich, who also has hidden developments, wearing Everson Griffin's 97. He's a run stopper with room to grow in his passing game, or pass rush game. And they also took Deacon Freeman. 3 picks to support this defense here. Good speed, good strength, good finesse moves. Nice pick by the Vikings. They took Malachi Watford as well. Ooh. 6'4". Good hands. Speed is not there. Alrighty. Let's switch past Bears. Ah, that's right. They took Dave Goodrich. Look at this. We had some really good drafts in the NFC North here. I'm so excited by this. Dave Goodrich has normal development, but he's 76 overall. 97 speed. 85 catching. Wow. This is going to be a special player. I feel like we've been able to say that about a lot of players in this draft class, and I'm so excited about that. Like, you want to see year 1 be a success for everybody, because that sets up such good storylines later on down the road. Randy Hurst would have been a good selection. Sean Guy. Now here's a guy that the Bears were really high on. Good power moves, good block shedding. Doing my worst Troy Aikman impression. The Bengals. So here's what I'm going to do with Ed Mclean. Because they have, they spent their first round pick on him. And they've got Joe Burrow on their roster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit Ed Mclean into the next draft class. And he's just going to be 1 year older. And I'm going to edit his actual player model here into a position of need for the Bengals. Because they did not need a quarterback at number 8. Jelani Fowler was a good pick. Hidden developments. Really solid across the board. Look at this. Not a third down running back by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a good player. They also took Eduardo Batista. Good pass blocker right there. Man, he could play tackle. Look at this. 76 speed, 75 agility, 78 acceleration, and really good pass blocking numbers. 81 pass block. That's awesome. The AI won't do that for him, but Bengals really killed this draft after after taking quarterback early on. Here's Greg Kennedy. Good strength, good speed, good finesse moves. Yeah, nice draft here for the Bengals. The Bills took Denario Springs. There's a good player. Good block shedding, good finesse, and good power moves. Good speed, good strength. Reminds me of James Delgado from the Jets franchise a bit. They also took Eric Estes, the rookie out of Iowa State. Normal development, horrible face claim, but good strength, good power moves, good block shedding, good finesse moves. They also took Alan Pounds, who we decided to go one or the other. I think we made the right decision. A little bit better press coverage, better man coverage, but the zone coverage is not there. They also took Isaiah Cohen, who's a power back. Good draft for the Bills. We are getting through this. Rodney McCullough. Hidden developments. Power rusher. Look at this. Here's another really solid player. 83 speed, 90 acceleration, 82 power moves, 76 block shedding, and 83 strength. Already the 18th ranked left outside linebacker in the game. He will step into Von Miller's shoes. They also took Nelson Dunn, who surprises at 73 overall. Good speed, really good across the board here. No glaring weaknesses in his game, and the hands will improve with time. Can't really jump though. No hops. After that, it's a little bit lackluster. The Browns, another good draft here. They took a couple of solid cornerbacks. A.J. Lamb out of BYU. 94 speed. 95 acceleration. That's a good pick right there. And then you throw on top of his above average pass coverage numbers. Terry Carvin, Jason Steele. They also took Cam Gray. This is a deep cornerback class. 92 speed here, good man coverage. It's good value there in the 4th round. They took 3 cornerbacks. Come on, Madden. I had interest in Kalen White as well, but more of a safety-esque player. So kind of glad we didn't take that. Buccaneers took the heir apparent to Tom Brady in Devon Williams. Although Brady is still playing, he did not retire. He now gets a tutor, Williams, who's 22 years old, hidden development, only 86 throw power. But I think he'll be able to continue the Buccaneers dynasty here. Really good accuracy numbers for a rookie. He's calm under pressure, good speed and acceleration as well. This took Jerron Boston. Hidden development, 6'2", 220, is a little bit small for a left outside linebacker. In fact, it looks like he might be more of an off-ball linebacker than, or off, like a traditional linebacker. But that's okay. Oofda, we're getting there, friends. James Hughes went number 31 overall. Oh, let's see, we got more. Anthony did the best job with drafts, far more balanced and realistic. Every team actually gets some talent. Yeah. Let's hear the Vikings drafting a quarterback. Yeah, this draft is amazing. It's so much better than like Madden 22. Everyone's getting good value with their first round picks for the most part. So, with the exception of the Bengals taking a quarterback, I've been really pleased with how the AI drafted. Wow, good player right here. Good block shotting, good finesse moves, good speed and strength for an outside linebacker. They took some good players here. I just kind of want to get through this. Let's see, Ricky Shepard, Gabe Burnett. I want to get through this and we can maybe do a little bit of practice. Good man coverage, good press as well. They took Ricky Shepard, who I had some interest in, but he wasn't fast enough in the combine. Still comes away with 90 speed. Alright. Good pick here. Nice job. Good route running there too. Can't really stretch the field with that deep route running, but the Colts. Here's Dante Allen. They did not have a first round pick in this draft that went to the Eagles, but they still got really good value here. There's a box safety for him. Well done. Yeah, the AI had some really solid drafts. Devon Ward at 75 overall. Look at all these cornerbacks. Hidden development for Rashawn Claxton here. 92 speed. Good press as well. He's only 73 overall, but he's going to be a solid player if he keeps this up. The building blocks are all there. Devon Ward is another great player. Yeah, we'll see. I think the Vikings will get to draft a quarterback next year because Cousins is still with them in this universe, so they'll probably be looking to move on from him. Here's Ezekiel Baldwin. Good block shedding and good power moves. He would have been a good pick for us. Good speed, good strength as well. Their big pick was DJ Andrews, rookie out of NC State. Hidden development, 92 speed. Not really a threat to catch too many passes, but he can break off a couple of home runs here. Let's see, we're nearly done getting through. Look at the Eagles draft. They had 3 first-round picks. That helps, but 4 players with at least 70 overall. They went Stephen Knowles, number 2 overall, and he is about as solid of as a quarterback prospect as you can get. 92 throw power. He put some zip on his passes. Good short and medium accuracy, and the deep accuracy will fill out here. Clint Johnson, another hidden development player. Really solid across the board. Good strength, good block shedding, good power, and finesse moves. And then Connor Barkley. 3 hidden development players for the Eagles. Man, I hope they get to develop. I hope they get to develop. That's the other problem, too. And then they went Nathan Roberts, who was my favorite center prospect. Look at this. 4 hidden development players with their first 4 picks. And then they took Chad Banks, who's 71 overall. Wow. They just crushed all their picks. Oh, they took Jeremiah Falk as well. I was hoping he would become an undrafted free agent, just because his speed was really something that stuck out to me. Good catch in traffic, good route running as well. Falcons. There's Emmanuel Spriggs. Hidden development. Good coverage, good press coverage as well. Great acceleration, good catching. They also took Rashad Cooks. Man, this stream is long. 3.5 hours. But that's okay. I've enjoyed all of it. I've enjoyed your presence. The football team played their picks correctly. 4 players with at least 70 overall. Good power moves, good speed. Yeah, he can get after the passer. Here's Jameer Davis, hidden development left tackle. Good pass blocker again. Dominique McAllister, Gio Bowers. Who took Alex Collins? I think the Eagles did. We should go back and check on him. Or maybe the Jets did. Yeah, I think the Jets did. So we're at the Giants, who traded up to number 1 overall to get Landry Jackson, who I think 80 overall is the highest I've seen in this draft so far. I think is the number 1 player in this draft. It'd be a surprise to me if he wasn't. They took Vernon Holloway as well, who at one point was a top 5 talent in this draft. Good speed, good strength. Great player right there. Archer Leach. They shored up their offensive line. That's a great pick. 2 hidden development linemen with their first 3 picks. That's crazy. And then Jermaine Jones. They didn't get their quarterback, so they made sure that their quarterback is... Oh, here's Andrew Wooden. 78 overall. Normal development. 95 speed. 77 man coverage. 69 press coverage. And 66 zone coverage. 85 catching. So I like the draft we got. I would have liked, if we'd been able to bring in Andrew Wooden, I would have been really, really happy. If you're just joining us, welcome. We have finished our draft here. We're just looking through some of the other players that the other teams have selected. They did take Alec Collins. Look at this draft for the Jets. Zeke Harper. Good speed. No weaknesses in his game. That's a solid player right there. The jumping isn't great, but they did take Max Hoodling, who's going to immediately compete with Zach Wilson, despite them spending a first-round pick on Wilson last year. Oh well, sometimes that's Madden for you. I do think, given the season Wilson had in this universe, 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, that they might want to bring someone in to push him, but I still think it's too early. Matt Dunn at 77 overall, hidden developments. Solid player right there. He could play corner with that skill set. And Alex Collins, 72 overall. 88 power moves. Wow. All right. So a little disappointed we didn't get Alex Collins, but that's okay. We got Devon Woodson, who I think is a really solid pick as well. So, all in all, some really good drafts. I think we had the best one, but we saw the Eagles had a good draft. The Jets drafted pretty well. The Bengals had a really good draft. So I'm super excited for this team. Let's save. Let's save this. Before something happens. Lions rebuild. There we go. Yeah, so the sim files for when I was testing out different. Apparently, even if you turn coach firing off, if you go into like the Black Monday meetings in the off season, you can get fired. So I saw it pop up at one point, so I tested it off stream to see what would happen. Yeah. Let's take a look at our roster real quick. We can change positions. I would like to move a couple of players around just to reflect where they're going to play. Obviously, morale. We could also probably cut Jared Goff as well and really, $25 million in savings. Time has come. Ron, this is for you. We're releasing Jared Goff. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Here's your reward. We're going to incur a cap hit of $15 million, but we freed $25.5 million of cap room to spend on undrafted free agents. DeAndre Swift is. Yep. Here's our roster. We're going to need to bring in some wide receivers. We have just 3 on the roster right now. But one of the players I want to move Taylor Decker to left tackle. Because he always shows up he's a right tackle in the game, but I've had Penei Sewell on that right side. So I want him to be left tackle, so he'll show up there first on the depth chart, and I won't have to go in and move anything around. Goff, you go to another team. Very nice, Burgos. Let's see. Wow, okay, we got a lot of right ends. We have a lot of right ends, which is not going to be made easier by the fact that I'm moving Devon Woodson to the left end. Deshaun Hayes can be right end. Onwuzurike can be right end. Brockers can stay there. Jabari, Zanik. It's okay, he can stay at right end. I do want to move Devon Woodson to left end, just so that he can get more opportunities to play. You can sub him in more places as an end than as a defensive tackle. And he's a 76 overall left end. You'll love to see it. I think of all the people that we drafted, I'm most interested in seeing what his impact is on our defense. Since we weren't able to address the secondary in the way I'd hoped, someone like Devon Woodson will hopefully bring our defense to another level. We've got Tyrell Williams to be a run stopper alongside Aleem McNeil. D'Angelo Carmichael. Who do I need to change numbers on? 48's fine. Got a lot of cornerbacks. Francois can be not 8, because that's Adrian Peterson's number from last year. So we're going to move him to anything that's not number 8. I'm a little stickler for more traditional numbers, but got a lot of corners. That's not a bad problem to have. Alright, and then finally, Bob Hairston. I don't know if I like the number 6 on him. Burgos, do you have any suggestions for the number that Bob Hairston should be? He could be number 1, 6, 7, 8. Not going to be... Who's number 9? I don't know. Because I wasn't going to give him Matthew Stafford's number. Not be Jared Goff. What about 11? I don't know if I like the long jersey sleeve, but it works for now. Not an 8, not 1. You like 7. He's got the Slinger 3. You like 7. I'm down with that. 7 it is. Alrighty. Cool. Let's bring this to a close. Thank you so much for joining. If you did at any point throughout the stream, I really appreciate it. We have a whole bunch of new talent to be excited about, and I cannot wait to see how these rookies start impacting the team. We have a lot to be excited about on both sides of the ball. We are going to turn this team around. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good one, everybody.